Tuesday. Good morning. Hope you're keeping well. Today we're doing some X-Plane. We're going to be flying in the AirfoilLabs Cessna 172. And I was the cause of X-Plane crashing, but I know what I did wrong. But it's a great start. But I hope you're keeping well. And, well, what are we at today here now? Live temperature in Tipperary, 5 degrees. Which is all right, considering next week is to get bananas, very cold. But yeah, I've been wanting to jump back into the 172 for the last couple of weeks, only because it's so good. And it's a wonderful simulation of the good old Cessna, you see. And we're flying today in Wyoming. We're going to be taking off out of Johnson County, out in Buffalo, which is going to be Kilo Bravo Yankee Golf. And we're going to be heading south. There's a very interesting VOR name, right? It's called Crazy Woman. We're going to fly to the Crazy Woman VOR. I mean, listen, they're named after science, and then we're going to head down to Casper, and then we're going to chase another VOR, and then, you know, it'll be grand. Some VOR flying, although the weather looks good, so we should be fairly okay, but we'll see what happens, right? How are y'all keeping? Right, it's Tuesday, yes, the 30th of December, and it's the day before the new year, right? Just to kind of reset your calendar so you know where it's at. I mean, you're probably still wearing the new socks and jocks you got for Christmas, stomach still needing some kind of, you know, Tums or Rennie, and you're just wondering, what was it all for? Right? Well, anyway, we're here to kind of continue on with the stuff that we do, which is a bit of flyage. A little bit later on this evening, then, we're going to transfer over to Formula 1. We're going to be doing some racing with all the damage turned on. Yes, looking forward to that one as well. Should be a bit of crack. But yeah, listen, it's all been Microsoft Flight Sim for the last while, with so many incredible add-ons coming out, you know, with Chase Plane, with Flow, and the aircraft that we have. But X-Plane are quietly but steadily making huge updates, massive strides on their platform, and of course the 172. It's a great machine from AirfoilLabs. They brought out two variants of this. They had the NG, which is the kind of steam gauge, the G1000s or the X1000s, and then they also brought out the old steam gauge analog variant. That's the one we're going to fly today. So looking forward to this one. The livery we have when it loads up is that of Aviation 101, Josh Flowers, with November 80991. He's a YouTuber that I just pretty much watch all his content. Some amazing aviation and cinematography. Absolutely incredible. Highly recommend you go check him out. That's Aviation 101. We're going to be using some Navigraph, and we have some Garmin Pilot to help us out as well today, and all the checklists and all that are part of Garmin Pilot. You can add them in with your own with the aircraft, right, which is handy. They're real world stuff, so it'll be interesting to see how close we can kind of, you know, imitate the stuff, you see. But yeah, it's all grand. Oh, but Janie, look, there's things happening. Right, don't panic. I just need to just sort some buttons. Don't crash now. Wait for it now. Wait for it now. Now, you do that, yes, and then close. Do one of those and one of... sure, look it, isn't it only brilliant? Now, we need to set this thing for cold and dark. There we go now, Jemima. We'll go through the aircraft, setting it all up here now in a few moments. But it's a great bit of... It's a great bit of crack, this airplane, you know. But anyway, who's here? Look, Chalks, a very good morning to you. It is indeed Tuesday. I hope you're well, bud. Where is this now? We press some buttons over here, look. Ah, yes. What did I get up to after last night? Not much now. Do you know, I was jaded after the stream. The amount of hand flying in the chopper. Hilarious crack over Paris. And then this morning, up early, doing the stuff that I usually do. And here we are. It's great. The missus was up. She's out hoovering and cleaning and doing all the stuff I'm supposed to do. I'm off the hook, for the moment at least. So we'll see what happens, right? We shall see. Right, who else is here? Chucks, good morning. Eamon, just sent you the profiles. Let me know how you get on with them. Vacuum, a very good morning to you. Hope you're well, buddy. Top Gun Glenny. Glenny, it's good to see you, man. Emphasize on the G. Just Roy is here. Good morning. Finally, EU cars have been implemented, including our favourite brand of Skoda. Yeah, great news. Brilliant. Hope you're well, Roy. Soaring AJ. AJH, man, a very happy Tuesday to you. Malky Mac is reporting live from a sunny Scotland. What? It's not sunny in Scotland. Would you go way out? It's never sunny in Scotland. You mad? It's good to see you, mate. Commander Balosh, top of the morning. Hope you're well. Vacuum is here with 7 in a row. Cheers, man. Spitfire RAF 100 is live in the chat. Very good morning to you. Crafty Tigers is here. Mutt Lee, do something, has rambled into the chat. Good morning to you, buddy. Idle Cutoff is here. Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. You're looking well. PQ, hope you're well. Sherlock Pilot is here. Good morning. Roy said, just made a test flight with the newly released Level Up 737. Yeah, that's payware quality. So they kind of took the Zeba mod and then went their own direction. And I think it's Threshold running it. I think. I could be wrong on that. Sherlock Pilot used to fly the 172 in real life. Ooh, not in flight training anymore. Good man yourself. Are you working now, Schuller? Apache, good morning. Stu Snape, morning, Murph. My chase plane issues may finally be sorted. Lots of flying to do today to test it. Nice, man, nice. Jeez, that's great news. Dazza is here. Good morning, Dazza. Hope you're well. He says, morning, Murph and all. I can't stop long as we're off out bowling. Have a good stream and catch you tonight. Go on. Now listen, Dazza. You're not allowed to have the little guide rails up on the sides. That's cheating. Right? Hello there. Oh, we know what you do when you're bowling. Have a good day, buddy. Enjoy. The Impossible Face is here, 15 in a row. Thank you very much indeed. Being served a surprise advert. Wait, what? Definitely had Prime Sub kicking in somewhere. Be the Janie. Ads. Norse Viking, hope you're well, buddy. You're very welcome aboard. The Forgetful Larry is in the chat. Good morning, Larry. Hope you're well. Charlie B, thank you for 20 months. Very kind, sir. Hope you're well. Not flying anymore, I should say. Aha. Murph, have you seen the Q&H in Shannon this morning? 1036. Severe high pressure. Indeed. Epic Fool, good morning. Yeah, we were watching that interesting weather phenomenon coming in towards Ireland. It's a lot of high pressure at the moment. Basically, as this Arctic air front is moving in. So high pressure is good news in terms of not much rain, not much bad weather. However, it's going to be very cold. So it should be interesting to see what happens. Do you know? Brez Ren, good to see you. He says, love to see an Irish pilot flying the AirfoilLabs. I used the aft livery from Cork. Nice, that's awesome. They do have an Irish livery as standard with the AirfoilLabs 172. Is it EI DAS? I don't think it's EI DAS, but it's based on a real 172. But you're very welcome in. Where is this now? Clappy, good morning. I heard that music in a YouTube video and I was just watching. That's mad. It's a coincidence. Yes, it's a coincidence. The music I use is from epidemicsounds.com. You pay them money and they give you permission to use their music, essentially. But they've some good old tracks, do you know? Ian Fisher, good morning. Hope you're well, buddy. Happy Tuesday. Dazzy, you mad thing. He just gifted 5 tier 1 subs to the community live here on Twitch. Thank you very much indeed, Dazza. Lads, if you just got a tier 1 sub, thanks to Dazza T Arab, well, do be sure to say thank you. The man is a legend. Clappy said, I flew down to Heathrow from East Midlands for an engine replacement on my 777 freighter. Nice. I love that. I was watching, I got into bed last night and I was watching just different YouTube videos, aviation videos, right? And there's one YouTuber is very good. He's called The Flying Reporter, right? Very, very good. And I was learning up and kind of refreshing on flight planning, right? Because I'm going to do a flight planning video, but more aimed towards flight simulation. So, you know, you go off and you research and you do all your stuff. But sitting there, you know, that's one thing I love about the sim, because, like, you know, in comparison to the real world stuff, Jesus, in comparison to the real world stuff, you know, whether is the aircraft available, it's costly. You have all these things to consider in the real world, but in the sim, you don't have any of those barriers. Yet, you can still make it very, very realistic. You can choose to fly with or without ATC coverage. With, say, intentions now, you know, they have temporary flight restrictions in place. So if you just wanted to do a very simple, you know, flight, well, you have to take on board now that, well, OnAir or say intentions are managing your entire flight plan so far as, well, there's traffic restrictions. You need to ask to enter, you know, or get clearance. And they could say no, which is cool. Kahari was telling me the other day, I think they flew into somewhere they shouldn't have. And, you know, what are you doing? Do you know? Now, speaking of OnAir, which we're using today, a simple flight with OnAir. So, we'll go into OnAir, we'll say, right, we want to do a sightseeing flight, and that's going to help our virtual company. We'll, get revenue, we'll build up our repertoire, all of this. And then when you look at a flight, this is where you can really take the sim to that next level to make it as real as possible. So OnAir is going to give you the reason as to why you're flying. So a sightseeing flight, for example. You group that with, say, intentions. They're going to give you, well, all sorts of immersion in terms of ATC or, a cabin crew, or all of that is there, including that of the flight restrictions. But then when you go looking to fly the flight, it's not just a simple, well, let's go from here to there, right? If you want, you can really dive into the realism when it comes to, your minimum safe altitude, different classes of airspace. All of that can be now added into your flight, including weather and weather phenomena. You don't have to dial it all in. So suddenly, a very simple flight of just flying from A to B, which is fine, and it's very enjoyable. When you start tweaking in the realism, suddenly your flight sim experience, it goes to a new depth. It really, really does. You really enhance what you're going to get out of the sim. And what I find, when you start doing that, you can kind of really appreciate the work of the core sim platform, be it Microsoft Flight Simulator or indeed X-Plane. But you also see it then the work from the third-party developers, be it from the nav data with Navigraph coming through and their charts, or you see it with the likes of the aircraft. It's absolutely brilliant. And there's no kind of limit to it. I mean, anywhere from small general aviation aircraft, helicopters, military aircraft, and then we kind of transition up into the business jets, the heavy airliners, into the cargo aircraft. It's absolutely class what you can do in the sim these days. I mean, go back 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a huge time since we were like, what can we do? And now, we see where things are at now. Plus, of course, you have live ATC with the likes of VATSIM or IVAO, Pilot Edge. There's a lot of options out there, which is great. See, I just can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of it. It's brilliant. But anyway, best looking weather person I've got. Wait now. Best looking weather person I've gotten weather from in a bit. Is that me? Epic, no? They're the standard from the AFTA in Cork. It's literally one of the aircraft we use to pilot training. You're joking. Weather. Brilliant. That's excellent. Cork do have a very good school down there. They did a YouTube video a couple of years ago advertising. But I'm unsure. I mean, are they even still using Cessnas? A lot of the flight schools now have they've replaced the fleets and they're gone with like Technam, or do you know what I mean? They're cheaper to run. But yeah, off to the guards. Off to put the guards up. Come on, Daza. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. Any idea which one it is? I might have flown it in real life. I'm not sure. We can check here in delivery. We'll go in and check here now. But yes, Eddie, good morning. Hope you're well. Top of the morning to you. Chalks then gifting a tier 1 sub to the impossible face. You're very kind, Chalks. Thank you very much indeed. Now, where are we at? Jesus, he did it again. Chalks gifted another sub then over to Vacuum. Chalks, you're very kind. Cheers, buddy. No ads for those. Hayden is here. Good morning. He says, hey, chap, top of the morning, you legend. Hayden, there's only one legend here, man. It's good to see you, bud. Hope all is well. Semantic Warrior, good to see you. I have a stack of Airliner World magazines ready for simming. Ooh. The Air Force's Monthly and PC Pilot, of course, they were magazines I used to get years ago. They were brilliant. And then Flying Ireland was another one. Brilliant magazines back in the day. Well, you can still get them. Most of them are digital now. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, you can still get the original ones. Very interesting. Al Hex, good to see you, buddy. Where is this now? Frozen Gamer, good morning. Hope you're well. Jeppison 2001, the man, the myth, the legend, has rambled in from News of the Realm. He says, good morning. How are you, Jeb? You're looking well. Gar Gaming, hope all is well. Hello to County Galway. You're very welcome aboard. Who else come in here now? Jeez, that was a level 3 hype train, lads. These are nuts. Over to YouTube, we say hello and good morning to Dave Cleary. Legend Dave. Welcome in, Dave. Good to see you, buddy. Who else is here? Abby, welcome aboard. Fishy is in the house. Welcome in. Who's this now? From On High. What is the genre? Aviation, flight simulation, general muppetry, right, by the aegis. But yes, where is this now? Is it a radio show? There's only 4 people. What's it keep? Oh, wait, hang on. You're one of those. All right, from On High. Right. Listen, don't let the door hit you now on the way out, you poor old devil. Right, do you know, you see, we're on Twitch and YouTube, and there's 2 streams on YouTube, you see. So if you're on the vertical stream, it just looks like there's an idiot sitting here in front of it. Well, it is kind of right, but there are people here. At least I hope. Maybe it's all AI. Maybe I'm AI. Do you know? Burnout King, good to see you, buddy. Happy New Year from New Zealand. Very welcome aboard. Happy many returns. Yes, kia ora, buddy. Nate's good to see you, bud. He goes, Murph, I exclusively use the AFL 172. Ooh, nice, man. Yeah, it's really good. I always find it a divil to start, but it's a great plane. Great plane. Ren, good to see you. Indeed. Now, we're over here, look. Uniform Goose. Good day, Goose. You're very welcome in, buddy. Where is this now? He must be a radio host. Do you know, you need to like expand be more constructive with your feedback. But anyway, we'll see what the story is here now, because we'll go into our flight planning. I hear a beep in the background. You hear it? And we'll see what the story is here now. Right, so we're going to press one of these and those and ramble over here. Where is this now? You would need a special kind of computer to generate you artificially, Murph, right? He's the face for radio. Adam Controls, good morning. Welcome in, buddy. Hope you're well. Sky Perrin, good morning. You're very welcome in. There's beeping going on. Just hear it. Jesus. Turn on a bit of noise here now. Mr. TPHI is in the chat. Very good morning to you. Were you up this morning at 5 o'clock? Wait, hang on. It's not far off 5 o'clock. Jesus. Callum, good morning. Hope you're well, buddy. You're very welcome in. Right, so this is our machine for today. And, well, let's have a look at our route. So, we can go into OnAir and it'll tell you what we're doing. Right? Or we can select our own flight. It gives you the flexibility whereby, you know, it'll tell you exactly what you're doing. Or you can say, look, I'm doing this, and it'll allow that, right? Mightn't give you all the bonuses and the, you know, the extra bit of stuff, but it will allow you to do all these things. And that's what we're going to do today, because I happened to just kind of, you know, pick up a nice little flight path or a flight plan. Where did that screen go? And what we're looking at here, this is SkyVector. Now, SkyVector is brilliant. It's a free website, as in it's a free service, right? And it's very powerful in the United States because it has all the VFR sectionals. So what you can do with something like SkyVector, I use this pretty much all the time when it comes to flight planning, right? I'll work out and say, right, I want to go from here to that location, and it's global, right? And they'll give you information like the weather, you can learn about the airport, all that kind of stuff. And it's used in the real world as well, right? But what we're looking at here, what our flight entails today, as I said, we're going to be departing out of Buffalo, so it's Johnson County. Right, this is where we're flying from today, and we're going to, you know, plan a couple of waypoints when it comes into our nav log or a pilot's log for when we're doing kind of general aviation cross-country flights, right? And looking at the weather, seems to be quite good at the moment, but we'll double check that before we get going. So our first waypoint here, it's a VOR, right? Very high frequency, omnidirectional range, and that is called, the identifier is called Crazy Woman. And I thought that was brilliant because it's near Casper. Now, when we look at this, it'll give us the frequency, right? 117.3, channel 120, the identifier name, and then we have the code. Now, this code is Morse code, so it'll sound like this when we tune in to our radios correctly. It'll sound something like this. Brilliant, right? So that's what we're going to fly to. So we're going to be flying toward that VOR station. Then we're going to pass it and fly outbound, right? So we're going to be flying outbound, kind of in a southerly direction. It's more of about a 170 neck of the woods, and that's going to take us down here to Casper. And this is our first stop. So it's Kilo Charlie Papa Romeo. So looking at Casper, looking at these sectionals, well, it's giving us a lot of information. We can see the terrain, we can see if there's any identifiers around here, we can see some visual reference points, but we can also see some, what are they called? Aviation terminology for these objects. Ground gadgets, obstacles. That's the one, obstacles. So we can keep an eye out for these obstacles because one, they're going to give us our minimum safe altitude, right, or MSA. But also, it's going to help provide us with visual reference points. So as we're flying down this neck of the woods, well, what are we expecting? Well, we know we're going to be keeping the high ground on our right-hand side. There's mountains in there to the right-hand side. Grand. As we continue further south, yes, we can see the terrain is getting a little bit interesting. It's ranging anywhere from kind of, 4,000 to 6,000 feet. There's a couple, there's a river. We're going to overpass this river. Rivers are a great visual reference point because you can follow the river all the way down, look, right? Salt Creek is the name of this one. But as we ramble in towards Casper, we can see that they have a wind turbine farm, or a wind farm. So that's going to be visual to us in the sim, looking out the window. That's where the gadget is. Now, it also happens then, there's another VOR here, the Muddy Mountain VOR. So if we were struggling with visual flight rules, if the weather turns and we can't see much, well, we can tune ourselves into the VOR just here. And that'll give us relatively close bearing into the Casper Airport, also known as Natrona County Airport. All right? So that's what we're doing. Let me see. Gav, one Foxy Bingo. Gav, you're very welcome aboard. Mrs. TPHI, who is upside down. She's there as well. 6:20, upside down in the bed. Good to see you, Mrs. Brez says, how's the intentions going? I tried it about a year ago and it wasn't working as well for VF4. Has it improved much? Yeah, they've made massive strides in the VF4 development. A lot of it is still, well, I won't say a lot of it is still, it seems to work better in the United States because the phraseology is tighter. But they are working on kind of UK, European VF4 standards for the, or not VF4 to hear me, for the ICAO standards. The problem with the phraseology is, I mean, flying in Ireland, right? The spiel that we would interact with ATC and other pilots is different slightly to what they do in the United Kingdom, which of course is different what they do in Europe. And even in Europe, well, France is a little bit different than Germany, Germany a little bit more than Spain, Spain a little bit less than Italy. There's all these little caveats that you have to do. And I imagine in order to be able to program all of this, it's very, very difficult. Even the ATC courses we've done, you know, learning on the Irish side, we had European controllers coming in saying, no, you don't need to do that. Do you know what I mean? We don't say that. Or it's an automatic handover, or no, you don't. They'll report to you. You report airborne. You've all these little changes. And then when we did our FAA stuff, focusing primarily in the United States, well, that's very different as well. There's a lot of changes there. So it's no easy task. You know, no easy task. Filthy, good morning to you. But I will say, Ren, it is getting better. It is getting better. And like, it's fantastic so far as it's a great training or learning tool just to build up a bit of confidence, and not just for your voice procedure, right, on how you talk, your radio telephony skills, right, talking on a microphone, which for a lot of people, that's a challenge in itself. But it also allows you to kind of build confidence of multitasking, flying, navigating, and communicating. And you can do all that in a sim. Well, that sort of stuff really does stand to you in the real world perspective, right? So it's very, very good from that regard. Tazzy, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Filthy, good morning. Ground gadgets is way better terminology than obstacles. Yeah, we'll go with ground gadgets, right? Flying Trits, good morning. Hope you had a great Christmas. Here's to a healthy, happy new year. Many happy returns to you, my dude. Adam says, I did a spot of VF4 in Sweden yesterday. Rambog had a great time sending me and Clem to weirdly pronounced VRPs. Right, I mean, you know, was there anything kind of mischievous by these VRPs, Adam? Like, did they have really funny names, you know? I think Crazy Woman is like, you know, it's not a visual reference point, unless, of course, you can see the station on the ground, you know? I want to get back into it now in January, kind of pause flight training this year. We'll get a sim refresher with say intentions to be sharper and back. Yeah, and Ren, you can try it out for, you have a free 24-hour trial if you really want to give it the beans, do you know? Schuller says, I've been sticking to IF4 on say intentions, be doing a lot in the Beechcraft Starship. Oh, the Starship is so good. It's so good. The one that gave us sounded like Likia at first, then we had to do some clarification. Proceed to Likia. Wait, what? Behave yourself. Sim Guy, good morning. Hope you're well, buddy. Top of the morning to you. So the first leg of our flight, as I said, is down into Casper. After Casper, we're going to be heading out west. And again, looking at our sectional charts here, well, we can see, look, there's power lines. See this? So we can track them visually. We're expecting to see these power lines. There's another river. And as we kind of ramble up this way, there's a railway, and is it a railway or is it just power lines? These are all power lines. And we can follow these now almost all the way. Look, they continue all the way up. And there's a couple of more obstacles along the way, right? We're going to pick up some more rivers. There's a creek here. Now, all these power lines, you can see them heading down kind of south direction. You can be sure they're heading over to a grid or a power station, so you'll probably see them as well. But as we continue to fly up, another visual reference point is going to be the lake here, right? Boysen. And we're going to be tracking the Boysen Reservoir VOR. It's a railway. Sorry, it is a railway. Well, it's a railway and there's power. Look. So we have a railway and we have power lines here as well. So the railway is this gadget. And then here's our power lines. So we can track both. Well, I imagine the power lines come up this way as well. They do, look. Yeah, they come up that way as well. So, yeah, there is a rail that we can track. There's roads here as well, by the way. I mean, I have 4. I fly roads, or I follow roads. But between the railway and there's the interstate there, or route 20 or 26. So there's loads of visual reference points. And as we're flying this way, again, we're going to be approaching the mountains. There's going to be an altitude change. And again, it's just keeping an eye on what's out the window. If the weather closes in on us, we do have the Boysen VOR. Once we get to this VOR, we're going to track directly to the station. We're going to overfly it, and then we're going to be heading outbound, right? North is here. So we're going to be, there's 270. 89. We're going to be on a heading of roughly 300, roughly, right? As we head around then, which is about 16 miles up to the Hot Springs County Airport. And that's where we're planning to do our landing. So that's what our flight looks like today. So the route is in the chat, !route. That'll get you in. Join FS should be thinking about every time I do. Do you know what I need to do? I'd say I would need to restart the server. Now, don't panic. What's this gadget called?
Hello there.
Pantabo. P.S. Mirandai, good morning. Hope you're well, buddy. Right, let's have a look here now. I best, because that should connect instantly, shouldn't it? And if we do one of these, try that. Try this. Yes, yes. Connecting to the server. It's probably due a restart. Plus, I need to get into restart it anyway for the whatchamacallit. Yeah, server's not working. Right, we'll go back into Join FS in a while. We're going to restart the server in the background and see what happens. So that's what our flight plan is looking like, right? We'll turn off Join FS now because it ain't going to work for a while, but we will turn it back on in a moment. So that's what it looks like. We're not too far from Yellowstone. There's Cody. That's at Yellowstone, right? So we're in a nice part of the world for what we're doing. Now, while we're here, let's go in and have an old gawk at the weather. So VentuSky, there's loads of them. There's windy.com. There's, the weather app is good as well. I like using VentuSky. I find it to be very, it's very accurate, especially in Ireland, whatever it is, right? So let's have a look here. So here's Casper, and then we have Buffalo, right? So if we zoom in here a little bit, there's Sheridan, there's Casper, and we should find kind of Buffalo up this neck of the woods. Bismarck, where are we at? Bozeman, Idaho Falls, Great Falls. Am I in the right place? Let's have a look. Missoula. Right, we're not far. Boise, Idaho Falls, Yakima. That's too far over. Bozeman. Right, there's Cody. Right, so Sheridan, that's pretty much Buffalo, right? Then Casper, and then down. So we can see that the live temperature here at the moment is like, 1 or 2 degrees. It's cold, right? And if you have a look at any precip, well, is there any rain or snow due? No, nothing major. What about cloud cover? No, relatively clear. And as we move the time of day forward, yeah, there is a front moving in. You can definitely see that, right? Bit of cloud moving in. If we were to look at the front and air pressure, let's have a look. So from 12 o'clock, it's not really doing much, is it? Okay, so it should be relatively nice flying. While we're here, let's check out Ireland for the moment. So we're look at this high pressure. That's mad. 1,040 in Scotland, look. Jesus, that's amazing. Right, let's have a look. 5 o'clock this evening, 11 o'clock, dominated by high pressure. It's going to be nice weather in Ireland for a couple of days, lads. But then she's going to change. See this gadget appearing. This is bringing the pain, right? And it's on the way down. So we're going from 1,034, 980 is coming in here, right? So let's have a look in the next few days what's happening. So this is Thursday. It's dropping. Here's this front coming in, right? Thursday, Friday. Doesn't look too bad. there's still a lot of high pressure there, which is interesting. This is going into Sunday, and another lash of high pressure coming in. But it's the temperatures that are going to be interesting, because it's like 1s and 2s. And if you go to nighttime temperatures, you're in the -2s, -3s, which isn't actually too bad. If we were to go ahead a little bit, let's have an idea of like next week. Monday, I'd say like 12 o'clock in the day. Why am I not logged in? Yeah, it's like 0, 1. There could be snow in Ireland next week or the week after. Interesting stuff. But anyway, that's Venture Sky. So I'm happy enough with the weather. So let's get in and get this aircraft up and running, and we see what happens. Kubi Montana, good morning. Hope you're well, buddy. Voicey is here. Welcome in. What version of FSU IPC would I need to join from 2024? I'm not quite sure, actually. I suppose the latest. I imagine the latest one would do it. You know what I mean? Now, let's see if this gadget loads up. It appears to be loading up. Huzzah! It's loading up. Right, so let this load, and I need to get this to do many things. Many things. So I restarted it. That's fine. So what I need to do is start up some servers. This is our VPS, by the way. Hide that. Don't need you. Did that try and open? Come over here now. There we go. So I just want to start a couple of things. As from coming Friday, it'll be snowy. Ooh, nice. All right, so open that, close that. There's the truck server. There's the other truck server. There's the bots. Here's our Firefly Air stuff. And then we'll get Join FS up and running as well. It's all looking very sophisticated, isn't it? But that's what we do. We're good at confusing people. Let me see. That's now live and that's now live. Lovely. Right, so we're up and running. Disconnect. And if we go back into X-Plane, we should be able to launch Join FS. Simulator is connected. Network is now connected. Huzzah! Right, we're in. Brilliant. The system has been belting us in northern Norway this week. Neighborhood lost a few trees and garages. No way, Voicey. Jesus. Right, so here we are in our Cessna 172. This is from AirfoilLabs. And it's weird that the pilot and co-pilot, their heads follow you. And absolutely freaking. Look. Ah, no, stop looking at me. But this is our machine for today. And we're using the tail number of November 80991. Beautiful aircraft, beautiful livery. So let's jump inside and see what we can do to get ourselves ready. Now, it is a study level simulation, and it covers pretty much everything about the aircraft, which is great to follow. I mean, we can get our all the limits, normal procedures, emergency procedures, and our performance, right? And it goes through absolutely everything here, which is great. Short field landing if we were to set ourselves up for it, all right? And over on the left-hand side, we have a ton of options. This is where we can be cold and dark, ready for taxi, all this kind of stuff. What 2D panels, so we can open up our panel for the engine visualizer. And what I love in this, I'd love to see this in Microsoft Flight Sim. You can speed up the speed of the RPMs. So, you know, when you're looking at like a full revolution of the engine, you can see the pistons move and all this. Well, you can speed it up to what it actually looks like, which is a blur, or you can slow it right down to give you an idea of the 4-stroke engine, which is class. So all of that is done there. We might keep an eye on this because the engine priming always catches me out on this machine, right? Now, other things are options here. If we wanted a tablet, if we wanted headphone simulation, wheel fairings, all this kind of jazz. We can remove the before flight chocks and tie downs, so they're all now removed. We're going to go into our weight and balance here and set ourselves up. So let us have a look here. If I can reset this, we're going to say left tank. We're going to fill our tanks here, right? So total baggage, total fuel quantity is 53 gallons, 27 and a 27. We're going to go for that, and we're going to apply this. So that's now applied into the aircraft. Now, before we go any further, we're going to go into OnAir. And we are going to do, we can do sightseeing, but for this one, I'm using my own flight plan. So we're going to be going kind of step by step. So we're going to be going to KCPR. KCPR is our first run, right? Now we can go through Sky or through SimBrief. We can get all this set up if we wish. The sky's the limit of how much you want to do, right? So let me see. Free flight, that's all grand. It's detected the aircraft. So we're going to go in and say fly now. So our first leg, let's see. So we're going to say the fuel is set to 100%. And our destination for this one is going to be KCPR. And we'll put in an alternate in case we can't get there. We'll just come back to KBYG. KBYG. Validate our fuel. And now we need to look at this UTC offset. And the reason why we're looking at a UTC offset, well, it'll throw us a little bit out of skew when it comes to the aircraft. So if we remove this and turn on the battery, we should get local time on this. So let's zoom in here. Local time is 0826. So we want to set this to 0826. All right. So let me see. Let's go back here. UTC will set the time in the sim. 08. We'll go with 07 because we'll get a bit of a sunrise here, right? UTC offset is 3 hours. Departure local time 04. Offset was set time to... I'm confused. 0449. Yeah, 3 hours, right, grand. 0739, fly now. Let's give all this a moment. We're going to say auto set, which is it has done. So date, fuel, payload, model, all that's loaded in. Perfect. And we can see our routing here. So we're going to click on track. The noise in this place. Noise, isn't it? Right, so that's all looking good. Our battery is running. So we're going to continue on with some of our checks here. So we can see our fuel is in. Our fuel is on both tanks. Our fuel shutoff valve is pushed in. Park and brake engaged. Beacon light can come on. Nav lights can also come on. We have our mixture here as well, and we want to be mindful of the of our altitude here, right? Because we're high up, lads. We're high up. So this is giving me standard. Whatchamacallit? That's standard. So we don't want standard. We want to get the actual weather information here. Now we're using real world weather. So there's a couple of ways in which we can do this. We can grab it from, say, Intentions. We can grab it from the likes of, say, Navigraph, right? Because we have this UTC offset, you know, there's a bit to consider. But if we were to have a look here, and we go and look at Johnson Buffalo, and we grab the weather, VO4 conditions, good visibility, winds 260, 5 knots, and our air temperature is -2, altimeter 3026. 3026. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. So 3026, which is relatively high pressure as well, right? So that's about 1026. Okay, so our barrow is set, which is grand. Internal lighting, go ahead and turn some of this on, right? And the next job is now try and prime the aircraft. So we can see this engine priming up here on the right hand side. So to do this, make sure our fuel is in. We're going to open our throttle here a little bit as well, and we're going to put on our fuel pump. I see this guy coming up. So we're in the correct area. So let's see what happens now when we attempt to start the aircraft. So the key is up on the dashboard. We'll go ahead and put it into the ignition. And we'll turn 1, 2, 3. Before we go, open the window. Clear prop. There's no one around. All is safe. And let's see what you fire. So priming is looking good. Mags are on. Let's see what happens here. She fired up at the last possible second
until you land and shut down the engines.
Excellent. Ease out some of that mixture. I nearly gave up on it there because, like, 15 seconds I think is like the max you can do with the with a starter. So see this engine simulation, isn't this only deadly, look? And you can speed it up or slow it down. You can do what you like. If we speed it up to what it actually looks like, right? Or indeed you can bring it right back down to, like, you know, a tenth of what it should be doing. But that's basically what's happening. You can see the valves opening and closing, see the spark plug, you can see the piston, right? So it's giving you a full simulation of what's happening. We can also see the spark plug fouling. So if we had the mixture too rich, too much fuel, you end up flooding the sparks, the carbon builds up in them and they become fouled, in which then you would have to burn that off, right? Cylinder head temperature, exhaust gas temperature, that's the main one we're going to look at, and we can see our RPM, all right? So let's close that off. Now it's telling us that our directional gyro is not in sync. 1.5 or at 1.2. Little button will fix that. Or you can just move the dial, right? Alternator can come on. And what else? Pitot heat can come on. Now, with our 172, we don't have de-ice or anti-ice. We just don't have it, right? So we need to be careful of that. So avionics buses 1 and 2 can now come on. And we have our TDS GTN 750 up and running. And we're okay here. We're just going to allow the engine now to start warming up. Houston, we have an issue. Circuit breakers are in. Huh. Turn that on. Why doesn't this want to work? Do. Easy now. TDS. Settings. Should be working. $750. Encountered Vulcan device loss error. You're absolutely joking. Right, that was a great start to today, wasn't it? Yeah, right.
Local link between your simulator and the OnAir client failed.
Murphy broke the plane. Do you prefer the PMS 50 or the TDS? See, the thing with the TDS, it works in X-Plane, meaning that you can update its nav data using Navigraph. PMS doesn't work in X-Plane, unfortunately. Man, that's a pain in the ass. Why didn't that work? Analog. Like, there's nothing that I'm missing here. We'll try it again. Let's see what happens. The crazy man from Ireland, good to see you. Vulcan still doesn't play nice with NVIDIA. Weird, isn't it? Don't try this at home, kids. Maple Leaf, good to see you, buddy. It's a boxer engine. Telling you. Have you tried with the mixture at cutoff at start? I have. Sometimes it works. I always struggle with this with the mixture. But I've no idea what caused that crash. Do you know? It is a beta, as in X-Plane 12.4. But yeah, like the freaking GPS should work. If it doesn't work, we just won't use it. We'll have to rely then on other instruments, which isn't a big to do. But like, you know yourself, why isn't it working? It costs money. They're me add-ons and they don't work. So yeah, we'll give it a few moments to think about, you know, what it's done. With Reality XP, that's how I started. Find the mixture priming on these weird enough. That's not how it goes in real life. Agreed. That's what I mean. Sometimes they'll say mixture out and then introduce it. That sometimes work. Or you put the mixture in, then reduce it. Nuts, right? How's the scenery? I don't know. It was looking promising, and then I had a CTD. That's weird now. Well, the first CTD I know it caused. The second one, that just shouldn't have caused. You know, and that was a Vulcan error with X-Plane. Yeah, what can you do, lads? What can you do? It's not just flight sim, right? These issues happen anywhere to anyone, especially when you're in Egypt. But yeah, icing is going to be a concern. We don't have de-ice or anti-ice with the aircraft. We have a pitot heater, and that's about it. Now, the good thing about icing, there doesn't appear to be much moisture in the air, as in there's no cloud that we can see, right? There's high pressure. There is a dew point, which is fairly close. It's -2 outside, so it'll be interesting to see if icing does become an issue. Do you know what I mean? Some users are getting the Vulcan error with the beta. Yeah, we'll see. On air, hopefully it'll just pick up where we left off, right? And let's see what happens. You haven't got this error? It's the first time I've gotten the error, to be fair, Sparker. I've never had this issue before with Vulcan. It's a long time since I saw a Vulcan error, you know? I do find the loading quite slow. Anyone else finding that in X-Plane? Like, they were saying the loading is faster. I mean, from starting the sim, your initial start into the sim is quite fast, but getting into your flight takes friggin' ages, you know? It's just one of those things. Let's see what happens. Just put a timer on this. And I tried to identify, you know, what is actually slowing this down. So when it's reading the scenery files, I have auto for XP running. And I'm also using Sim Heaven. And I was thinking, right, maybe if I, you know, take out the there we go. If I take out the Sim Heaven stuff, but it didn't really do anything, you know? You're about to try Murph's old 172 Moser profile. Have fun with that, Eamon. Loosey-goosey, you know. For some reason, I found out removing the IVAO plugins from X-Plane, it loads a billion times faster. Really? Morning, just. Murph, how's she flying? Captain Sickbag, good to see you, buddy. I've had a CGD, I've broken it. But hopefully we can get it started back up here again. Ah, brilliant. Look, there's life. There's life in the thing, lads. Now, let's see what's happening over here. So, Toby, turn that off because that's just where my system's at the minute. Everything else should be tickety-boo. Right. Can we reconnect to this? No flight tracking in progress. Huh. Abort the flight. And we'll start again. And my worry here is, where is this now? Fly it. 100%. Destination is Casper KCPR. And a UTC offset. Validate fuel. Let me see. We're going to set it to 750. That'll change the time of day in the simulator, hopefully. No, it's not liking the fuel. Now it is. All right. Start tracking. And let's see what happens here. Playing Battlefield this morning.
Please check your quarantine scripts folder.
It's okay. Don't crash, explain. If it crashes, we're going to abort ship and go for something else. Right, why are my doors open? So let's go back into this aircraft and see what we can do. Cold and dark, that's where we had her. Get back up our engine. Put you up there. And we'll come over here now. And we're going to get rid of all those. Options, fairings. They're all fine. Weight and balance. Into our weight and balance. It's just us. That sounded abrupt. And let's see, can we do all this again? So, fuel shut-off valve, mixture, open the throttle, battery, beacon, nav, park and brake should be on, double check all as well here, open the window, key coming in, fuel pump coming on. That'll do it. 1, 2, 3, clear prop, and let's see what happens now. Nope. Try it again. Try it this way. There she fires.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Alternator, avionics. Are we going to get this gadget turning on? It's not looking promising, is it? Usually if you press and hold the home key on the real unit, it fires up. Is this a bug now with X-Plane? I wonder. Alright. So we've a fancy GPS that we can't use. Close the window. I wonder, can we remove that unit? Let's see. Options. X-Plane 12 lighting and atmosphere, just incredible. It's gorgeous. Practically geek. Good to see you. Hope you're well, man. Options. Is this where the issue is? Avionics configuration. What do we want here? We want that guy. Apply. Okay, we'll swap it out to the old one. How do we remove... Avionics stacks configuration. Right. Can we not just put him there? How do we... hang on now. Isn't there a way we can do this? Don't mind that for a minute. Okay, so it won't fit. So this needs to come up out of it. Now we'll throw this guy back in. Jew down there. Jew there. Right. Now I wonder if I try this guy again. Well, let's apply that. Okay, at least we got something working, right? Let's see now. We take this guy home. And now see, can we throw this guy back? Do. Apply. Did. Right. Out of there. In you go. Now, do you want a 530 or a 430? We'll go with the 530. Transponder. And that looks good to me. Let's apply all that and close. Right. Isn't it handy we can do that with our avionics? Now, Barrow, we need to set again. What were we? 3026, wasn't it? 3026. That looks a bit better now. Taxi light coming on. Pitot heat coming on. Flaps don't need to worry about that just yet. And when it comes to our altitude, let's have a quick look here now. So 7,800 feet. We'll probably, we're at 5 in the minute. We'll call it 7 just to get us started, lads. Wait, why didn't that shagging change? Hang on. I'll turn this guy off. Please don't crash the sim, right? You've been warned now, machine. Do you hear me? And we're going into our options for here. Right, I don't want that anymore. Give me this one. Yes. Now, can I apply that? Yes. Now close. Right, now we're laughing. We're thrashing now, lads. Turn you on. And we want to get ourselves set up for the first leg. So the first VOR we're chasing was that of Crazy Woman VOR. Brilliant. So we need to zoom in and get the detail. 117.3 on our nav. Your nav, so 117.3. 117.3. And we're getting a reading. We want to be heading... We'll change all this now in a moment. So she's picking it up actually right now, which is great. Frequency 117.3. It's giving us a range to that VOR. Super. So we're 25 miles out from the Crazy Woman VOR. You gotta love that. It's called Crazy Woman. Brilliant. Stealth Rooster, thank you very much indeed for 5 months. Cheers, buddy. Let's see here now. Some lights. Taxi light is on. Strobe, Pitot heat, fuel pump. That's all grand. What else? Transponder, we'll leave it on. VFO for the moment. It does look very pretty, doesn't it? Open these vents as well so we don't fog up. Alright, so off the brakes. Easy. Small bit of power. And we'll edge our way forward. We're looking nice so far. Gotcha, good to see you, buddy. Oh yeah. I do think the L suspension is a little bit on the you know, side, but we'd be grand, right? We'd be grand. So we'll ramble down this way. There's our taxiway, I think. Should be. Dee. Don't hit the building, Murphy. It'll absolutely make a mess. I think we can taxi all the way down here. We should be able to. Alright. Flight controls are free and correct. What's our speed here? Flaps for takeoff. Go with 10 degrees. Only because I want to be able to take off a little bit quicker. We are relatively high in terms of altitude, so we want to get our mixture all set. You know what I mean? And we'll do a quick run up here before we enter the runway. So we'll take a bit of a wide turn. Easy now. Don't go off the edge, Murphy. Alright. Spin us around. Easy now. Ideally, you want to be turning the aircraft into the wind for this. So we're going to hold station here. Mixture is rich, which probably doesn't need to be at this altitude. But anyway, increase our RPM. Easy. Easy. She's a little bit jumpy, see that? Why is that going up itself? Interesting. Okay, 15, 16, 17, 50. Let's hold it there. Come off one of the mags, so we'll go to the right mag. There's a little drop. 50 to 80 RPM. Back to both. Left mag. There's the drop. Back to both. And what we're looking for there is any kind of juttering and coughing and spluttering and all that jazz. You know what I mean? Okay, so the throttle input seems a little bit messy. If I go full power... Yeah, she's alright. Okay, strobes, landing lights. There's no carb heat I can see on this, so we should be alright. Taxi forward. Okay, right side clear, left side clear. Bob, good to see you, buddy. Just got Microsoft Flight Sim 24 on the PC or on the PlayStation. Nice, man, nice. Okay, so our first stop is down to Casper, but we're going to be flying and intercepting the VOR called Crazy Woman, which is absolutely brilliant. Right, easy now, plane, easy. How is our sounds doing, lads? All right, yeah. Right, flaps set, heading, runway heading, altitude, we're going to bring it up, we say, to about 7,000 feet. Join FS is connected if anyone wants to fly along. Right, let's see if we can do this. So we're going to take off and then do a UE and see what happens. Right. Power coming in. Off the brakes. And let's go flying. Speed live. Try and keep it on the runway, Murph. 50. 55. Oopsie daisy. And we're flying.
Airborne time logged.
Easy. So ideally you're looking for about 74 knots climb out, which we're a little bit slow, so we'll keep the nose down a bit, pick up a bit of speed. And get our speed up. 300 feet, flaps coming in. That's going to drop the nose for us. Easy now. Alright, there's 70 knots. We're looking good. Oh, doesn't that look pretty? Jesus. Alright, easy now. So there's about 70 knots or so. We'll keep climbing. The aircraft aren't textured super high. Cockpit's exterior is still quite outdated. It can happen, yeah, some of them. Ren, it works better on your own server, 100%. Alright, we're climbing nicely. We're still on the runway heading-ish. So go autopilot heading. We're going to go vertical speed. Aim for about 800, right? And we know that we're tuned into that VOR station, so let's see what we can do. We want to be getting this guy bang on. So for us to intercept it, We need to now start making a turn here. Let me see, 1213 140. So it's going to be a right turn over to 140 degrees. Watch your speed. We got 1,000 feet to go. Maybe drop down to 500 feet a minute. Something like that. Now make sure we have the best available power. And our speed is coming up. Nice. Yeah, some of the default airports are really nice. You know, the default assets that Microsoft Flight Sim is using, they're now painfully out of date. Painfully. So they need to update all of those. Man alive, look at the view here, look. Jesus. That's an AOA indicator. Don't need it, get rid of it. Okay, so we want to fly direct to the VOR, the Crazy Woman VOR. So we're going to stabilize ourselves at 7,000 feet. We're flying back out over the runway. We'll level off at 7,000 feet. We're going to adjust our power here now in a moment. And then we'll really try and hone in our direction, right? So it's 14.5 nearly. That'll keep us on an intercept route. So we're 26 miles out from the Crazy Woman VOR. Brilliant name, isn't it? Casey Wingboy, good to see you. Strap, good morning. Hope you're well, lads. Okay, you didn't do what I wanted with my altitude. Back down a bit. Okay, speed is starting to pick up a bit now, so we can ease off some of this power. There we go. 110 knots, that sounds good to me. Oh yeah! Well now, isn't that fairly pretty? Herman something, good morning! Yeah, it's called the Crazy Woman VOR. It's brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant. Okay, so level us off at 7,000. It is set to arm. I'd much rather the autopilot be down there, to be honest. I wonder can I move that? Oh, I can. Excellent. Okay, heading 7,000. Why aren't we holding 7,000, Chief? Right, come up the road here a bit. Now, let's watch our track. Okay, we're looking good. Looking a bit better as we're cruising along here. Ease off our speed a little bit. About 2,400. And we're going to try and get ourselves lean of peak. Let's see how far that exhaust temp will go. That's pretty good. That's us fairly leaned. Speed is looking good, about 110. We're still drifting around 7,000. That's wrecking me head. Like, we want 7,000. That is armed. We'll drop it 100 feet a minute. Let's see what happens. Alf, good to see you. Yeah, real handy, isn't it? Real handy. I have Iwaza, yes. Does the plane fly well inverted next plane? Not as well, Mrs. TPHI. No, not as well. And you also got to be careful. We do have a gyro drift. So we're inbound now, 20 miles to the Crazy Woman VOR. Oh yeah. Great little machine this. Okie dokie. We can still ease off the power, but because we're in a slight descent, we'll leave it alone. What else do we want to be looking at here? I forgot this had 2 altimeters. Usually what I would do in the real world, I would set one altimeter to the barrow and then the other one I'd set to AGL. Which can be very handy, do you know? Right, you should be leveling. So the altitude hold is not working on this plane. Because I can assign an altitude, but if I VS, it won't find it. Isn't that strange? So altitude is armed at 7,000. And this should now level at 7,000, look. Because it's armed. It didn't do it. We're gonna pass it like. I wonder if I'm doing something wrong. Interesting. It's a coincidence that you're talking about a crazy woman. Yeah, brilliant, isn't it? Mika just got X-Plane 12 last night on sale. Any recommendations coming from Microsoft Flight Sim 2024? If you can, try and get your control bindings to mimic each other, so you don't have the headache of, oh, what sim am I in? All the controls I use in X-Plane are the exact same ones I'm using in Microsoft Flight Sim. All my views, everything. So it means navigating the sim is an awful lot easier. All my control bindings, everything is a one-to-one. It's a one-to-one copy. There are certain things X-Plane does very well. Does some really good aircraft in X-Plane. And you know, it takes a bit of time, but once you kind of get there, it can look quite impressive out the window, you know. Yeah, chase plane in Microsoft Flight Sim, like X-Plane does a way better job of how aircraft look in a flyby. You just don't have that LOD headache. You know what I mean? But having chase plane in Microsoft Flight Sim is so good. So good. Alright, we're looking a bit healthier now. So we are 14 miles from the Crazy Woman VOR. And then we're going to be heading down. Our next VOR station is down at the DDY, which is outside of Casper. Because untight, I sneezed. So that one is going to be a 116.2. So we'll just have that sitting there if we need it. There's no ADF frequencies here that I can see. Or, you know. Nothing really there at all. Yeah, Roy, I need to try that map enhancement tool. I've never tried it before. Right, how are we looking? Fuel flow, 10 gallons an hour. I'll probably do a little bit better than that. Let's have a look here now. Local time 8:11. Outside air temperature is plus 3 degrees. Everything else is okay for the minute. Just a beautiful day for flying, isn't it? It's gas, like when you see the speed and capability of something like a Cessna, it's like, how many hours did that take you? Really? Just to fly there? You know what I mean? It'd just be hilarious. But we got there eventually. You know, slowly but surely. And as I was saying, like, you can really add in, you know, all the different immersive layers. You know what I mean? If we wanted ATC, if we wanted, you know, adverse weather coming in, you can just add all those things in. It's class. All right, we're looking good. Power's good. We're to be fair, we're pushing it a little bit high, but it's grand. Rental power, you know. Nate, yeah, no, 100%. Like, if we want better fuel flow, we're pushing the aircraft too hard. Ideally, we want to be at around somewhere between 21 and 2200. But we're on rental mode because we lost a bit of time. And this will even show you roughly, you know. What else? We are lean of peak. Fuel is good. Fuel flow about 10 gallons. It's okay. You probably get 8 gallons if we wanted to be smart, you know? You can try the pro version for $5, Murph, and it supports all the maps. Now, when you say you can try it for 5, is that a monthly cost, Roy? Is that charging you every month? The airframe on this Cessna has many hours. Martel, good to see you. Aircraft state, ground, options, home, Avitab. Now we can lock all this in with Navigraph as well, look. There we go. And there we go. Crazy woman. You gotta love that, man. Isn't it brilliant? Can I move this tablet? I can. I just want to move it somewhere, like, out of the way, but not completely out of the way. Like, that's blocking instruments on me there. Huh. Yeah, that's kind of strange. You can't, that's kind of strange. Do. Interesting. Which Cessna is this? I presume an S. Can't see the carpet. Is it an S or is it an N? An NG, so if there's such a thing. Headphone simulation, that's the button there, look. Ah yes, now we're thrashing. Right, that VOR station, how are we looking? It's going to move because we're moving, so if we want to stay on track, we'll head this way a little bit. Now from that VOR station we want to be tracking then due south 180, I think, because we now want to be outbound on that radial, right? They are monthly costs. I purchased the yearly cost, which is $40. Ah. Vacuum says, I would have thought it should be easy for Laminar to add auto ortho. Yeah. I'm Pierce, good to see you, buddy. Captain Berg. Easy now. how Laminar haven't grabbed a hold of Apple or Google to say, right lads, out of the box photogrammetry. You see, Austin doesn't like that. He's not mad about it, you know what I mean? He's not even for like satellite terrain, he's not a fan of it. To him it's an immersion breaker. Because he'd argue the toss, you know, you could be flying on an overcast day, but like you have shadows on buildings on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense, but like, I just think it's better to have this than not, you know? That's, you know. Okay, so for us to get a bit of a bearing here now, right? We're approaching Crazy Woman. So we want to be on a heading 1817. So 168 we're going to say. Where are you? 168 is what we're going to turn to. 168. And we're going to put you to 168. This will move and flip over now in a second, right? Roughly there. And roughly there. So our range, we're within a mile, so that'll just, she'll fire over. Now I wonder, can we actually see the VOR on the ground? Yeah, there it is there, look. So there's the VOR station. The actual VOR. You see that? There it is there, look. So that was the VOR we were flying past, yeah? So this will now go from to to from. Right? And if we give it a couple of moments, we'll be just tighten that up a little bit. That's 15, 16, 17. There's a small bit of wind here. We just want to aim off. So this will eventually start tracking back in, but we just need to get a little bit of distance on it, as we're still holding 7,000. Now the next job is we can actually transfer this over to the next VOR station, which in this case is the identifier Delta Delta Yankee, which is the Muddy Mountain. So if we go Muddy Mountain, 116.2, 116.2, right? We're getting a reading here, so let's go 116.2. And let's make sure we can hear the gadget. So headphone simulation's up. We go nav. Can't really hear it. That's interesting. Mute. Marker mute. We don't want to mute the marker. Oh, wait. Now, hang on. Nav 1 is what we've dialed in. 1162. 1162. That's what we're listening to now, right? That's the Muddy Mountain, which is 50 miles away. You know what I mean? Why do we think it's Nav 2? That's Nav 1. Oh, wait, hang on. Is that Nav 1? They're both the same. Nav, balls it is. It's the good man yourself, Jesus. Let's see then. 1162. This'll do it then, isn't it? Yeah. That's the identifier. Okay, so if we're listening in here, we should be listening to this identifier. Dash dot dot dash dot dot. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Sweet. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And Janie then. Put you back up. So we are tuned into the correct identifier, so let's go ahead now and get our heading to it. 15165. Something like that. And that should be now flying us directly to this. Now we want to watch our range here because we want to be heading over to Casper. That is the next airport. Malky, yeah, totally made a fundle there with Nav 1 on that gadget. Anyway, all is working well in the realm. How does that work then? If we were to say, aha, that's what's wrong. Okay, so let's do this a little bit differently. Nav 2, horse you in, and we want to be flying outbound from the last station. There we go. Now we're making better sense. So we're flying inbound on Nav 1, outbound Nav 2. That was so very strange. Anyway, all is well. How are we looking now? 2 degrees outside, 8 o'clock in the morning. Doesn't it look pretty? Absolutely gorgeous. It's a gorgeous machine, this. And But sure, listen, we'll just kind of, you know what I mean? Do the thing. Isn't that pretty? Toto's in the house. Good morning to you, buddy. Hope you're well. Well, good afternoon, even. Yeah, VOR is awesome, lads. I love flying VOR. Like, using VOR stations, even NDBs, like, it's class. So here's the question, right? One's in chat. Should A2A bring the 172 to Microsoft Flight Simulator? If you agree, press 1. If you disagree, press 2, right? So if you want to see A2A bring their 172 into Microsoft Flight Sim, press 1. If you don't, you couldn't be arsed, press 2. Because I think, you know, a highly detailed Cessna 172 is sorely missing from the sim. Like the default one, the Asoba one isn't bad, right?
Hello there.
But it's quite limiting, you know what I mean? Stanley, thank you very much. More choice, yeah. More choice is better. Or Black Square, yeah. Black Square would be an interesting one for sure. As long as Tyler's sound mod works in it, 100%. Eamon says, I reckon they are, but not announced yet. Yeah, I mean, look it. I think it'd be absolutely deadly.
Hello there.
I just asked A2A to do it there. So we'll see what they say. They could turn around and say, shag off, you know. No, Murphy, we're not doing that. You mad? It is a crime, yeah. I'd love the Echo 19 sound pack. Yes, so good. Also, there's going to be no excuse to not use Microsoft Flight Sim. I think if they put the 172 over there, a lot of people, that'll just become their default machine. Right? Marv, tell me how I managed all this time without a Stream Deck. Game changer. Dude, an absolute game changer is the Stream Deck. Stream Decks make such a huge impact when it comes to flying. Brilliant. I love them. And I've, you know, ridiculous amounts of them. But they're very, very good. Now, we're kind of going off track here a little bit. 162... over there a little bit. See, of course, we have to aim off because of the wind, you see. AirfoilLabs making a 737 MAX. Yeah, that's going to be awesome, Nate. Also, they're working on a DC-3 or C-47 variant. Looking forward to that as well, man. That's going to be freaking brilliant. But yeah, in X-Plane, I suppose, like, for me, X-Plane is kind of lonely so far as you don't have the element of multiplayer. on the group flights. It's very good on VATSIM, very good on VATSIM, and Pilot Edge if you're over that neck of the woods. But it does a lot of things right. Do you know what I mean? Like if we were to look in here now, have a look at the owl engine, how she's behaving. No fouling. Engine's running nice. Oil temperature's quite okay. Exhaust gas temperature's fine. Cylinder head temps are fine. She's running well. At her 2400 RPM, which is fairly lively, you know. I got a budget version of the Stream Deck. What are the main things you use it for and how do you set it up? Just as keys on X-Plane. Well, I mean, it depends, right? If you're using a Stream Deck to help you for flying, you can buy bespoke panels, Stream Deck panels, from Flight Panel, and they're very, very good. I mean, they're beautiful, right? Check out flightpanels.io. You can also make your own. So, for example, you could set up your views if you want. Just have it's a button box. Hey, I want this view, I want that view. You can put keybinds in to show like a, you know, the moving map or the instructor panel, or you know what I mean. It's really handy from that regard. But you can also bind things like, you know, the lights, magnetos, fuel tanks. You can put a lot of options into it. I have a video ran on YouTube about using a Stream Deck with Microsoft Flight Sim. It's the same idea, right? If you have something like a Stream Deck Plus, they have the knobs and dials, right? Really handy for radio frequencies, all that kind of stuff. Really handy. Autopilot controls, yeah, 100%. I have the digital version of Stream Deck on my iPad. It's brilliant. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's one way to start, right? You can use your iPad as a virtual Stream Deck without having to buy the stuff. Now, Elgato can be, it can frustrate you. Sometimes the gear just stops working and you have to reset it. But when it works very well. Very well. It's a great bit of kit. Much cheaper. Yeah. 100% Commander Balosh. Like, I mean, if you had a virtual Stream Deck running, and as Malky is saying with autopilot, it just means, I mean, you can have your Stream Deck a lot closer to you rather than a keyboard and mouse. And if you're in, like, if you build up a bit of a rig, I mean, put it on your dashboard, put it in your cockpit, because there's a whole load of different things you can do with it. Do you know? Like, I'm running multiple Stream Decks, right? And I'll show you what they look like. So, now a lot of these are, this is my virtual Stream Deck, right? Now a lot of these are all configured, of course, from Microsoft Flight Simulator. But you can see at a touch of a button, I can open up, you know, flight events, Dolby Access if I need it, runway alert systems, MobiFlight is there. But I can also go to my Stream Deck Plus, and this is where I have my comm radios, nav radios, right? And just a plethora of different buttons that I can use for autopilot, GNS 530. I can go with, you know, a 720 or 750, right? Ronnie Gnome is here. Good to see you, buddy. Of other things here as well. So this will launch different profiles, this button. I have an FPS counter. That's transponder. This is a little batch file I created. It's over on Patreon. And basically what it does, it's a touch of a button, right? When I click this button, it launches a PowerShell script. And what it actually does in the background, and this does impact your flight sim, it turns off your Windows Defender and also the Windows Search Indexer. And you might say, what? I've found through a lot of testing, it actually has an impact on your system. If you turn off Windows Defender, for example, you know, and you're not using websites and you're just flying in your simulator, Windows Defender is no longer active. It's not looking at certain files. It's not trying to figure out what things are. That saves a bit of computer resources. The Windows Search Indexer, as X-Plane or Microsoft Flight Sim, as you're flying, it's generating and updating loads of files, tons of them, right? Hundreds of files. By turning off the indexer, Windows is no longer tracking those in order to get you there faster. But just remember, when you're finished, you turn them back on again. So the script I made, which is over on Patreon, you can, you know, I assigned it to a button on my Stream Deck. I can turn them off, and then I turn them back on when I'm not flying. Or you can rewrite the code to say, well, whenever the sim isn't running. You know what I mean? You have a lot of options. Roy says, if you're using SPAD, you can create a virtual Stream Deck also. Ooh, you can even import Stream Deck profiles. That's dead handy. Yeah, SPAD is great. Right, little course correction. We want to be going right, I suppose. There we go. 22 miles out. Yeah, the search indexing can be a pain. It can. And it does help by turning them off. You know? Also, you can link it to a hardware tablet. Yeah. Does anyone know if I can put the Microsoft Flight Sim Planner on a tablet, says Wingflex. So if you're talking about Microsoft Flight Sim's online planner, which I have to say, lads, is excellent, right? This is really good. They've done a lot of work on their flight planner. So if your question is, you know, can I put this on a tablet? Well, yes, just open up a browser. It's browser based, right? It's browser based. So that was just a bit of jiggery pokery I was doing with a flight the other day. How do I delete this? New flight plan, right? So if we're using Microsoft's online flight planner, VOR, and we can put in some information here. What aircraft are we in? So we're going to say we're in a Cessna 172, not a G1000. And then we can put in our route, right? And we can put this in, you know, where you're starting from, where you're going from. So let me see. Remove that. How do we... We'll do a route this way. Enter the route. So we are KBYG, Crazy Woman, DDY now, KCPR, BOY, and KHSG. So that's the exact route we're doing here now, right? It's kind of funny that we're using Microsoft's Flight Planner and X-Plane. This is hilarious. But anyway, you'll see that we can get the information because this is all available. If you own Microsoft Flight Sim or you have a Microsoft account, well, you can use this web browser. And you can put this on a tablet, on your phone. It's a web browser, right? And if you save it, if you're on an iPad, you can save the web page to your home screen. It just magically becomes an app. Click the button, you're already logged in, and away you go, right? So what we have here... I can do a lot of stuff now using the Microsoft Flight Sim Flight Planner. So we can go into our performance. Vertical pad cannot be calculated. It's quite okay. We can put this in automatic, or we put our routing in. So we're going to say it's 7,000 feet, right? Cruise step size, put that as 1,000. Cost index, fuel bias. Where is this now? It's a VFR flight. Aircraft, our route, departure, you can add or not, performance, our flight details, fuel and payload, right? So how much fuel you're taking with you. Now you can get all this to load in automatically, or you can manually do it, right? Let's have a look at the weather now. It's looking at EAIB. How do I remove that? Add to route. No, I want to change that. How does one get rid of that? How do you unselect that shagging thing? Clear the selected facility. There you go. So if we were to put in KCPR, that's where we're going. Casper. Well, here's some information now that we can get. There is ATC, transition level, the elevation of the airfield, its coordinates, magnetic variation, which is so very important, especially if you're going to be doing VOR flying, heading, dead reckoning, all that kind of jazz. We have a METAR, which was on the 30th day at 11:53 Zulu. It's nearly an hour old. Winds 2-0-13, clear skies, 10-mile visibility. It's -3 degrees Celsius, dew point -9, altimeter 3032. Right? Runways, hasn't a clue. Frequencies, hasn't a clue. Charts, so we can have a look at the charts. Airport charts. These are Lido charts, by the way. Lido charts are kind of Lufthansa stuff. Or they're using the FAA ones. And like, this is all free, lads. Right, this is all free. So you can see the information here. Okay, well, this is what the airport is looking at. If we go back to what we were saying in regards to the weather, well, the wind is 210 19 knots, right? 210 19 knots. So runway 21 is what we're going for. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, as long as you have an Xbox account. But I think you can log in with Google as well. Now, if we go into the FAA charts, slight difference. So these are our FAA charts, right? So you have a little option down here at the bottom. See where it says chart provider, Lido or FAA. So that's where you can select them. But it's a great bit of kit, the flight. Like, it's free. You know, it's real good. Right. We're getting very bumpy here now, which makes sense because we're coming into kind of mountainous areas. See all like the hills and stuff? So we want to see what we're doing here. Small course correction as we get a little bit closer. Tankerman, thank you very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Will that lead the plane to... hey, it's Lazy, good to see you. Will that load to the plane? Yes, yes. In Microsoft Flight Sim, you can then export all of this. You have options down here on the lower left side. Save the flight plan, right? So if we save it, give it a name, save it, and you can also save and then copy the link and share it with other people. It's class. I mean, look, route. Let's call it route 1. We're going to save and copy. I'm now going to copy this. If I put this into the chat, if you guys click on that link now, you should be able to see my flight plan, which is this. Let me know if it works. How many FPS is your X-Plane 12 running at? Mine? I imagine it's like 60 or 70. Yeah, it was about 60 or 70 FPS. And you can use loss of scaling and all this jazz as well if you wanted to. Alright, we're doing well. Frozen Gamer says, yeah, it's working. Awesome. Will it track the plane too? I don't think it's a moving map, no. Only your sim will do the tracking for you, so you can't use it as a moving map. Now, Navigraph does all of that. But if you don't have Navigraph, there are websites that can track the aircraft, you know? David Spencer, a Cessna 172. And a very pretty. We're in November 80901. The Aviation 101 livery. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, Josh has updated his plane. I mean, he's got modern avionics, G1000s, G5, beautiful stuff. Do I use Riva Tuner and loss of scaling anytime, or does it need it? I still use loss of scaling sometimes. If I notice the frame's a little bit low and it's just not doing what it needs to, I'll turn on loss of scaling. But since this latest update, 12.4, I don't need to. Because it's running very well. Okay, so runway 21 is what we're aiming for. The airport should be over here, somewhere out my window. That looks like it over there. So we're going to leave the VOR and we're going to start transitioning towards the runway. While we're here, we'll go ahead and stick on some lights. Flight Planner is Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Correct and right. Yes, it is, Stan. But it's also a flight planner. I mean, you can save it as... Does it save as a PLN? How do we save it as a PLN? Copy link and share. Save as copy. select a flight plan. Ah. So we can upload a PLN directly into the sim, right? So, I mean, you can go into SkyVector, you can save that, or you can export it, right? And it can go to ForeFlight, you can put it into Garmin Pilot. And there's other ways in which you can convert PLN files, plan files, you know? Hermit Something just assembled the Moza MTQ throttle to fly Airbus on a secondary PC. What I found interesting is the D-dents are built into the handles and not the base. It's great for switching back to generic aircraft. Yeah. I'm trying to get my hands on that throttle because I want to have a go of it. I haven't tried it yet. Now, where are we at? That was restarted, so that's tickety-boo. That's good, and that's good. Alright, we're doing good. So we're heading in this way. Runway heading on this is actually going to be 204 degrees. That'll do nicely. What else do we need here now? And just on air tracking us. I'll check to see if you can make a PLN out of it. Yeah, that'd be handy. That'd be handy. Okay, so the VOR station is off on our left-hand side. And there it is. So that's the Muddy Mountain VOR that we were tracking. That's the actual station. That's class, isn't it? And we're going to plan for an arrival now into Casper. And while we're here, we won't see it yet. But if we find the river, there's the road. If we find the river, we should see the railway. There's the railway. Don't see any trains, but it is a railway. Does that go under it? Oh. Wish I can get a HOTAS because PS5 is a bit lacking in that department. So Bob, yeah, there's one, isn't it the Thrustmaster one? That works. Okay, so when we're planning for our landing, KCPR. Info, runways 21, that's what we're going for. They are like rocking horse poop at the moment because it's only the one. It's the only one that works. Yeah, yeah. Right now, but they're all gonna make. They're all gonna make hardware for the PlayStation, man. 100%. Stan, no worries at all, buddy. Any questions you have, lads? There's no such thing as a stupid question. The only question that's stupid is the one you forgot to ask. Like, if I can answer the questions, I will. If I don't know, I'll totally bluff it. But then I'll go off and find out the answer for you. You know. SkyVector is for X-Plane. No, so SkyVector is universal. It's real world stuff. So that's just generic flight planning. Microsoft built their own flight planner, and I gotta say, I think it's brilliant. You know, because it allows you to be planning your flights offline, which is a nice thing to do, right? But SkyVector is it just does its own thing. All right, we can see some poppy lights. There's a runway. There's the train. Choo choo. It's turning around on itself. Is the train? Oh, there's a bigger train. Jeez, look at the trains. Ah, brilliant. Look at the state of them. Yes. Right. Autopilot disengage. I have control of the aircraft. Let's head her on in. Alright. I have 200 million credits in career mode. Which they'd come out with the heavy cargo ones. Ah, indeed. Also, the community help each other out. 100%. Especially our community. It's incredible. Anyone who's here, you're part of the community. Well done, you're part of the community. But yeah, we have a very helpful community, which is great. I've been stuck so many times, like the amount of trouble I've gotten out of because of the lads. Savage. So what I'm using to track my flight, I'm using Navigraph, and I also use Garmin Pilot, which is on my tablet here in front of me. So that's what I'm using to track my flights. X-Plane has its own built-in moving map as well. That's this guy here, right? And their map is very good. It's a very powerful map. Right, so mixture for best power, which is roughly there. And let's proceed with a landing, shall we? We're looking good. Don't need to worry too much about flaps and whatnot just yet. Alright, bit of trim just to take the resistance off. Yeah, Bob, 100% man, yeah, Discord, there it is. I actually just got back from the emergency room, was having chest pains. Jesus. Hey, it's lazy, take it easy, man. Hope you're well. Hope you're better. Right, ease out the power nice and slow. There's a little bit of... Well, there shouldn't be much wind throwing us off, so we'll see how this gets on. Easy now. Yeah, I'm not mad on that. Can we... Yeah. Not mad on that. Right, ease off the speed. And we'll start throwing in some flaps. Again, PAPI lights for this sort of aircraft, not massively important. I mean, they're designed to work off whatever the standard approach is, a glide slope, right? 3 degrees is kind of most common. The terrain here is quite flat, but it'll get nuts in a moment. Like Casper is like... There's not much out here. Bit of mountains over there, alright. Alright, continue on in. Speed is 90. We'll deploy a notch of flaps. It's going to throw the nose up on me a little bit. Easy now. Little high. Watch our rate of descent. We don't want to go too far. There we go. Do we use VATSIM? Yeah, sometimes. Usually Thursday nights we're on VATSIM. So they are PLN flight plans that can be assessed within Microsoft Flight Sim packages. However, they do not appear to be labeled. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I'll look into it myself for awesome. Like sharing the link is handy because like then you can import it into your own sim. Do you know? I think we have the same altimeter here. We'll find out now together. Second notch of flaps. Throw the nose up. Now watch our rate of descent here. So we're going to get down a little bit. Watch our speed as we're doing this. We're well within the limits of the airframe. 85 being that white marker. So we're okay to deploy all our flaps at 85 knots or below. So we're doing about 700 feet a minute descending. But we're looking good. We got loads of runway here as well. 80 knots final approach, a little bit fast. But we're just trying to correct here for altitude. And we want to be kind of sending this in at around kind of 70 knots, give or take. Okay, so as we position ourselves, we're looking for our touchdown point. They're the two larger keys. right, beyond the piano keys. And once we kind of fixate, that's our touchdown, or our landing zone, or landing point, or aiming point, eyes then go to the end of the runway to make sure that you're aligned properly. Because if you don't look of where the plane is going to go, well, there's a good chance you'll go the wrong way. You know what I mean? So this is what we're looking for here. That's my aiming point. That's what we're aiming for. Keep an eye on the speed. We're sitting on about 66 knots here now coming in. This is almost perfect. Almost. And we'll start rolling out once we get close. And we'll watch our flare. There's our flare.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Hold the nose. Let the speed bleed off. And there's a touch. The timing of Stu
Landing time
Snape.
logged.
The timing of Stu Snape. He's like a friggin' sniper in a ghillie suit just waiting for me. Brilliant. Alright, flaps in. Try not to stall the engine. Keep the RPM up a little bit. And we will exit the runway a little bit further down. Brilliant. Seemed like a fairly comfortable landing. What did LRM think of it? 32 feet a minute. I mean, Jesus, the state of that. Do you know? It's helpful. Beautiful weather conditions. It's a straight wind. Massive runway. You know. If you're using the SimBrief planner, you can also copy the route string into the planner for Microsoft Flight Sim, including your Citizen Stars. Ooh. That's handy. Right, we'll exit here on the left. The brakes are way too sensitive on this. Way too sensitive. Alright. Rumble over there near the tower. This is a nice little airport, this. Casper. Tigpot, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Right. I was going to say there's a fuel imbalance, but look at this. It's actually simulating the swoosh and swash of fuel in the wings. See that? As I'm moving the aircraft, it's simulating the flow of the fuel in your fuel tanks. That's awesome. I love, they're little details I love. Alright. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, the brakes, I don't know, man. They're not great. All right, avionics coming offline. Taxi lights coming off. And kill the mixture.
Engine off time logged. The flight is finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
Get our door opened. And let's go into OnAir to check on our status. So, friends, that was a flight from Johnson County down to Casper, Trona County. Let's have a look at the flight record here to make sure that everything went exactly as planned. So when we took off out of Johnson, we went up to the right-hand side, swung around, climbed, and we flew directly to the Crazy Woman VOR. From Crazy Woman, we then headed further on south and we intercepted the, what do they call it, Mud Mountain VOR, and then we went visual in over the railway tracks and straight in runway 21 here into Casper. Our flight score on that one, we got 100%. Excellent choice. And then a reputation change, free flight, reputation increase for the mileage, impact on the flight score of 100%. We got our bonus for our comfort score, our safety bonus, aircraft handling, a soft landing, and then our flight score bonus as well. So we got a lot of bonuses there put in. And this all goes towards our character, our virtual airline, and our reputation within OnAir, including building up all of our engine hours. And every time you fly, you can see you have all these XP levels, right? So we're currently on level 4. And what we can do with all of this, when we go into the company, well, we can have a look at the skill tree. And when we get more skill points, this is where we can really start unlocking the features of OnAir. For example, we can get better interest rates or better loan rates, or with our FBO, we can build up our fixed-based operator, and we can even put in workshops. We can put in our own fuel, and we can put in enhanced queries. And what enhanced queries would give us would be better jobs in which we can then fly. We have a passenger's license, meaning that we can carry passengers, but we can also carry cargo, including dangerous goods. We can also do medical jobs, just in time or last minute jobs. And then we have down here the hiring agreement. This is where we take on staff to work in our training facilities. We can have better instructors, aircraft use, fuel use, better transportations, and so on. And then this builds up to different processes. There is an absolute barrel load of stuff here. See, even this, negotiate aircraft ownership, negotiate landing fees. So like you could be landing at an airport, just like what we've done now. There is landing fees at this airport, $25 or whatever, that you have to pay because, well, that's how airports work. They'll charge you a fee to land. If we were going to stay at this airport for a prolonged amount of time, well, we would have to pay for overnight, parking, tie downs if we didn't have them. If they had hangarage, if it was cold, we could request they keep the aircraft inside. That's a different rate. It's just how it works in the real world. So OnAir is very much on the pulse of all of this. It knows what it's at. In the real world, you'd find at an airport like Casper, they would have an FBO here. A lot of them give you a courtesy car. And basically, you'd fly into a location like this. If there is a restaurant on site, which a lot of these airports do have restaurants, you might have heard the term, $100 burger, right? Which in reality, it's about, $375 burger. You can fly to these different airports, as a lot of folks do in the US, grab their lunch and then fly back again. That's what a lot of folks do. But if there wasn't a restaurant on site, the FBO that you're flying to, if you are using the service of a fixed-based operator, they tend to have a courtesy car or a staff car. They'll run you into town, or you can drive yourself into town, go get a bite to eat, then come back, which is class. That's just great fun. So what we're going to do now, our next flight, or second part of this flight, we're going to be heading into the west. And this is fairly straightforward because we're flying straight towards another VOR. So if we have a look at it here, right? We're on the ground here at Casper. The town of Casper is over here. We're not going to go near that. We're out in the outskirts. We're going to be tracking up here to the northwest. It's 87 nautical miles. It's going to take us the bones of an hour to do this, but we'll do it. And then we're up tracking the Boysen Reservoir. And then our final landing is going to be up the road here in Hot Springs. All right. So it should be interesting scenery along the way. We're going to be following a train track for most of it. We should get some mountains appearing later on. So we've something nice to look out the window, plus that reservoir coming up from Shoshone, is it? Shoshone Municipal? Interesting. And by Boneville as well. So we'll have a look and plan this flight next. So to do that, we're going to go back now into OnAir. And we're going to go into our dashboard. I've already pre-planned these flights. I could ask OnAir to say, well, look, it knows where I'm at. Show me all these sightseeing jobs that you can give me. Now, it's unlikely it'll give us one to where we want to go. So these are all, a sightseeing is going to be start from this airport, come back to this airport. You can see, look, sightseeing at the Thunder Basin National Grassland, or, Castle Gardens, or Fossil Cabin. So basically, just what we have in the career mode in Microsoft Flight Sim, you got to fly passengers out to an area, they want to go sightseeing, then you fly them back to the airport again, all right? Or we can take on cargo or passenger flights, a chartered flight, and this will show you to all the different destinations in which you can go flying to, right? So there's nothing coming up where I want to fly to, which is fair enough. I'm just going to put in my own, right? Then you can do medical flights, you can do search and rescue flights, you get the idea. So we're going to do a free flight, and this one we're going to be flying now to KHSG, which is that of Hot Springs. And its routing is just going to show us, look, direct to. We don't want to go direct to, we'll do a bit of messing with this. So it's going to say, well, look, you're 9 hours away from your next rank of your single engine piston, right? This free flight, we're going to generate $1,900. We're going to get some XP, and it can show our full distance. So I'm going to say, well, let's fly this now, right? In a box, man. Good to see you, buddy. So for this, let's go in and have a look. So the aircraft type, a flight plan if we want to drag it in there as well. That's all absolutely fine. The weight and balance of the aircraft, we burnt a little bit. Let's put it down at, I don't know, 80%, right? Our destination ICAO code is going to be Kilo Hotel Sierra Golf. And if we can't get in there, for whatever reason, we can get an alternative at South Bighorn, which is relatively close. It's within 50 miles, right? Validate our fuel and payload. Now we need to double check the UTC offset, so we'll go ahead, get the battery on. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning here using the sim time. Now what's the real world time? Because that could look very pretty. If we were to track real world, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I think we'll go with that. We'll go live time on this. Let's pretend it was the day after, right? So we're going to say no UTC offset. We're going to fly this as this has been intended. So we're going to get some nighttime flying, and then hopefully that sun is going to come up, you know. So payload, fuel, everything here is set. We're going to start tracking our flight, and let's see what happens. Everything's getting loaded. OnAir is looking after all of this for us, and now we're into the aircraft to get ourselves up and running, because flying X-plane at nighttime is an absolute joyous occasion. Now, because we're nighttime flying, well, we need to be careful now because, well, it's nighttime. Need to be careful with terrain and obstacles and all this jazz, right? So we'll close the door. Come hither. And let me see. We have nice lighting in here so far. I'm happy enough with the lighting. So batteries on, beacon and nav lights. That's letting people know now something's going to happen with this machine, right? And we're going to get ourselves configured for flight. So if we go into the engine visualizer, and we can see we're not primed at all yet. So we're going to put our mixture in, open our throttle just a little bit, and engage the fuel pump. That'll probably do us. All right, mixture out. And to start this, we used to say, clear prop. You've got an hour and a half before sunrise. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the transition. Okay, so we're looking good here, looking good there. Mag switch, right, left, both. And let's give this a start and see what happens. So we'll give it a blast.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
All right, good start in the engine. Should be at 110. There we go. All right, engine's doing what it needs to do. We'll continue on. Make sure our alternator is turned on, which it is. Avionics coming back into life. Windows closed. Just getting me lights sorted here now. Oh, that's pretty. All right, so avionics coming online. Squawk machine for this one. You could go VFR nighttime flying, but for this we'll just put in a make yuppie code. Pressure altitude 5200. Let us go grab the weather. 3033. I'm gonna do the same over here. I'll do. Now with our GPS, we're not going to fly GPS, but we are going to put in some planning here. So we're going to intercept the that reservoir VOR. So that's going to be 1178. So we're going to go 1178. It's actually picking it up here, which is great. We're going to do the same on this guy, 1178. And just to help us out with our track, I'm going to also keep the Mud Mountain VOR active as well. And you're going to be 1162. Right now, what one is active? Oh yeah, 1162, and we'll keep him over there. So we want to be flying from that station. We probably won't get much on it though, you know. 777. Good to see you, buddy. He says, Murph, can you say happy 35th birthday to my beautiful wife, Danny? Danny, happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day and you're being spoiled rotten. Welcome in. Sumner, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. In the box, man. Hope you're well, buddy. Right, so we're ready to get rocking here. Taxi light coming on, right? We're going to head back out to runway 21. So we're going to taxi on Alpha. Off the brakes. Let's ramble forward. Night lighting is only savage, isn't it? Yeah, I need to do something with the sensitivity of those brakes. They're way off. Groves, good to see you, buddy. Lincoln Park? Yeah, Lincoln Park are great. Right, onto the taxiway. And we'll follow it on down this way. Alright. Alright, we're looking good. We'll taxi on out here to see what we can do. Easy now. And we'll do one of these. I think it's this one. No, it's not. Jeez, what was that? Hang on. No. Now we're thrashing. Some nice tunage. Into the wind as best we can. Add some power in now. Easy now, Jemima. Quick mag test. Right mag, there's a drop. Back to both. Left mag, there's a drop. Back to both. Little power. Low idle. She's good. Alright. Let's plan for some flying. We're still high altitude. Now it's a massive runway. We could use flaps on takeoff. We'll go for it onto flaps. Right is clear. Left is clear. Easy now, Jemima. Alright, friends. Let's go fly. Takeoff power set. Speed live. There's 50 knots. 55. Let's go flying. Oopsie daisy. Alright.
Airborne time logged.
bit of a crosswind. So we're going to go back up to about 7,000 feet. We might need a little bit more. We'll see how we get on. Sumner, great news. Cheers, buddy. Sun Jammer is here. Good to see you, man. Hope you're well. Alrighty. Man, the lighting is superb, isn't it? It's gorgeous, man. Look at the detail under the wings. Flaps it. Alright, maintain the climb here. Let's follow out this road. Easy now. 1,000 feet to go. This is the road we want. All right. Canoe Head 2! Happy New Year's Eve! Ronnie, happy returns, buddy. Live it up, AJH. Oh, there's a stutter. Alright, alright. Alright, easy now. Alright, autopilot. Let's go heading mode. We've armed 7,000 and we're climbing at 700 feet a minute. Keep it moving. We want to be heading northwest. Alright, we'll get on track here now in a moment. Let's go altitude mode. Lock that in. Got your power settings. Looking good. Ease off the power, keep at 2400. And now we're going to turn to intercept our track here, which is going to be 280 roughly for the moment. And let's get our opposite track from Mud Mountain, 210 and 030. That works. So the only worry here, lads, really is going to be terrain. We'll keep an eye. Speed is looking good. Two, 7, 8. There's 2-7. 278. Okay, distance 2, 82 nautical miles to the VOR. And then after the VOR, it's going to be out over the other one, the airport. Do you know? Pretty sure I'm doing everything correctly, but when in the Phoenix, I'm getting a purple message saying takeoff inhibit and landing inhibit on approach. What's your flap settings do? Also your trim. Okay, engine sounding fairly lively. Ease off the power just a smidgen. We're burning a fair whack of fuel on this one. Look at our fuel flow. So let's calm this down a little bit. And let's see what we can do with our exhaust gas temperature. Is our mixture out? Just under 10 gallons, and we're lean of peak. Gesundheit, I sneezed again. Yeah, check the trim, just to be sure. Purple is actually fine. Purple is more of an advisory. Don't you mean adversary? Purple tends to be okay. Landing inhibit also could be down to your weight. Man, look at the friggin' traffic up there. We're going the same speed as the vehicles. Buses and cars. Jesus. Truck! There's a big truck! The road traffic is so much better. So much better. Not very nice. Fat Rob, good to see you. Just tells you the aircraft suppresses some messages during critical phases. Yeah. I think it's normal. We'll say it's normal even if it isn't. Do you know what I mean? Right. We're looking good. That's a very pretty sight, I gotta say, isn't it? So we're planning high ground on our right. There's a little bit on our left, so we'll keep the we'll keep our eyes on it. I can also turn off my lights here. Ooh, look at that. Now it's all terribly nice, look. We're going for the real kind of nighttime kind of stuff. Maybe I should have dragged it an hour more. But we'll see. Alright, how's our RPM looking? Good. Fuel flow, good. Fuel tanks, good. Temps and pressures are all in the green. VAC is very high. That's very high. I wonder if I used alternate air, would it make a difference? Huh. No, muchness. Interesting. Right, how are we tracking? What? This is the one away from us. So, outbound on a 240 radial, but that's going to be moving. Outbound 240, here's the line. So it's giving us an idea of where we are. Now we can double check this obviously with DME, distance to Muddy Mountain, but it's telling us we're at 24. So I can use this as a waypoint. Let's say when we get to 24, 25, when we get to 25, Jesus, Navigraph, if it had a ruler, wouldn't it be just the balls? If it had a ruler in Navigraph with it like a rangefinder on it, that's all that's really missing. But anyway, what we're saying, 2.4, if we get to 2.5, that should take us up to where the, well, we will see these power lines. 2.4, 2.5, 2.6. 2.6 is going to bring us up, well, oh, we're mad fancy, but certainly up this neck of the woods. 2.5 is going to be down by the Powder River, and then we're going to have 2.6. So we'll keep tracking that just to see what happens. This will continuously move, right, until it gets exactly to 2.5. So it's at 2.4.5 at the moment. So that's where we're heading towards now at the minute. I have my terrain radar on just in case, but we're looking okay. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. We should start seeing daylight starting to peek through in probably half an hour. It is 0 degrees. So let's see what happens. We are on live time, we're on live weather, so this is what the aircraft will be doing. Now, your Cessna 172, I mean, there are far more capable aircraft for cross countries, right? I mean, you can go multi-engine, or indeed you can go high-performance aircraft, something like TBM, or, you know what I mean? Even a Bonanza would have the legs on this, because your Cessna 172, it's happy speed-wise between 90 and 110 knots. Most of the time, right? Because it's not capable of achieving its top speed. The aircraft airframe and the engine power does not allow for that. But it's still a great, solid airplane for learning, for training in. Do you know what I mean? And as I say, like, the likes of flying by VOR, I have a GPS, but I'm not using it. It's only for terrain awareness because it's nighttime, right? So by locking everything in here, so if we want to say a 250, we've just passed it, right? So if we go back in here, that's where the 250, which is here, which is going to take us in for these power lines. Now, we may not be able to see those from the air. Although we can see other weird lighting. There's a train. Right? And there's a road here as well. And looking at our map, yeah, there's roads here. Intersections, right? So 2.6 is going to be my next kind of waypoint. So let's go over to 2.6, 2.5 and 2.6. Once this guy gets very close, we'll know then roughly, and our track outbound at 260, 24, 25, 26, draw a line straight across. We should be coming up to this road, river, and it's identifying buildings up here as well. Sweet. Also, you got to be careful of the gyro drift. Yeah, your gyroscopic drift, because the gyro is spinning like mad, and by doing so, it is susceptible to engine vibrations and moving through the air. So even though the gyro is trying to keep everything independent, it can still drift because we have all engine shaking and the air, plus the gyro spinning itself. So I'm trying to remember, what was it, every 15 minutes you adjust it, or every 10 minutes? It'll probably tell you on the aircraft anyway. But gyro drift is the thing. Wonder why why there's so much suction there. That's interesting. Engine temp, or oil temp, and pressure is good. A little bit high on pressure, but that makes sense because we're pushing the engine a little bit. Fuel flow, I'm happy enough with 10 gallons. What else do we have? We can probably go into the function menu here to see if there's any density altitude. Pressure altitude, it's at 7,000. And we can use the chrono clocks and all this jazz over here. What else do we need? That's terrain. Weather. So this is using NextRad. I don't think View 120. Ah, that's what they mean by that. Okay. So this is using X-Plane's new weather system, but we don't have any weather to... There's no weather of concern, right? So that's 50 miles. That's 100 miles. We're going to be landing before that. But we need to keep an eye out. 24, 25, 26. As we're flying along, this needle should be moving in closer to our aircraft as we're going to be intercepting the outbound rudder, right? Mixture level position. No, I think we're good. So as this needle moves in closer, that's going to give me an idea. Ah, right, we're now intercepting that radial. So it's going to give me an idea of where we are on the map. See this guy here? So when he goes all the way into the center being my airplane, we now know that we are on the 250, which is there. Once we hit the 250, well, we know by looking at our chart, again, if we had a ruler, but here's 26. 26 is here. And if we trace 26 across, it's going to be roughly here. Roughly here. And of course we're inbound on what looks to be 096 So we're heading towards the 096. Or if we were to get very fancy about it, we're actually heading directly towards 2728, 278-ish. Inbound, yeah? Loads of traffic there, look. That's class looking. And looking at that sky, you can see it's starting to brighten up behind us, which makes sense because we're heading kind of northwest. Therefore, the sun is going to be to our southeast. And you can see it, look, it's trying to brighten up there behind us. Beautiful. It's mad looking, isn't it? Now I wonder, just raise the out exposure, look. That's pretty cool, isn't it? They're fierce handy controls. Yeah, look at the lighting even on the cloud. Like, they've done a great job, man. They really have. The lighting in X-Plane was always very good, but like now it's just like fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, it'd be interesting now as we continue to fly. We're just waiting on a bit more kind of daylight to get in, do you know? Here we go. Okay, so let's have a look. We're nearly at that 2.6 now. 278. What's our drift? 278. We're just under 60 miles now to the next VOR. And yeah, this sky is going to start getting bright very quick. We might turn off that landing light. There we go. And we have our strobes working as well. I love the detail of the beacon light. It's class, isn't it? This part here is rubbish, but this part is really good. A little bit bumpy in places, but we're alright. It's a nice view. Now, how are we tracking? Two 27567. So we're 27567. A little bit of wind throwing us off. We're almost at that 260. Okay, we're getting a terrain alert ahead. Let's have a look. Okay, I don't have any red lights. Altitude, there is an object ahead of us. Above ground level, we're less than 1,000 feet above ground level. And if we look here, even around us, you can see, well look, the ground is getting very big very quick. So we're going to have to adjust what we're doing. So I think we're going to have to climb here, lads. Or we're going to be fairly close. There's no built up areas here, so we're actually okay flying at this altitude. And there's no airspace I need to worry about. Oh, I'm just getting a terrain alert to say, listen, you're within 1,000 feet of the ground. And you might say, what? But sure, look, we're at 7,000 feet. Yeah, but the ground is just there, look. Don't know how well you guys can see it. There's the ground. Right? Hammer Nails, thank you very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. 36 months, man. Thank you very, very much indeed. Now, we can probably wing this. There's that high terrain starting to appear over on the right-hand side. We were planning for that. But I think just to kind of make life a little bit more easier, we might throw 1,000 feet into this. So, we're going to call it 8,000 feet. It's armed. And we're going to vertical speed at 500 feet a minute. And by doing so, we're going to increase our RPM to help us with the climb. And we're now going to climb upwards a little bit. Now, as we're doing, the aircraft, you know, it's reacting to this. We're adding power, tendency to roll right. We need to put in a bit of left. It's on the autopilot. It'll do all these things for us. But we just need to be aware of it. So we're now intercepting this 260 cross. We can see it here. So if we go back onto our chart, that's the 260 right there, look. Because if that's 258, here's 26, we've just hit it. Alright. Now our next one, we could say 24, 25, 27. We won't even need it. Because we're now much closer to Boysen without really needing to worry, you know? Felix, yes, this is a Cessna 172. Right, 7,500 feet. Yeah, westbound is even altitude plus 500 feet for VF4. Eastbound is odd altitude plus 500 feet for VF4 as well. So west, it's even. East, it's odd. And it's only applicable above 3,000 feet. Or if ATC tell you otherwise, do you know? Right. 90 knots in the climb. We're just about to level off here. Bum, bum, bum. And let's call it 8,000. Get our speed back up. You can see now that our terrain radar has completely cleaned up. Hey Lenny, good to see you. Hope you had a great Christmas. Good to see you, missus. Alright, so our fuel flow once again, a little bit high, but we're using max power here. Well, not max power, but nearly max power. So we're going to calm this one down. Back down to about 2,400. Easy. Roughly there. Fuel flow, that's way better. Way better. About 9 gallons, 8 or 9 gallons. All right. Man, look at that sky behind us. Beautiful. Now we could be landing under the cover of darkness, so we need to watch for this. Also, the wind is starting to play a little bit of havoc with us, so we need to adjust our course now. Right a bit, Murph. There we go. And so far so good. It's mad, like the ground traffic is nearly moving as fast as I am. Cool. What happened there now? Why did that guy jump back up? Interesting. Angels15, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Alright. So we're 46.7 nautical miles out from the VOR, 117.8 or 0.8. The identifier dash dot 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 dash 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 dot dash dash. Sweet. The piece has been shattered. Now this power setting for the speed, it's keeping me, it's about 105, it's quite okay. Still 1 degree, 20 to 7 in the morning. We're on live time in the beautiful region of Wyoming. Can't see much though, but it is getting brighter. It's looking terribly fancy, isn't it? Now, there's a bit of terrain ahead of us we're going to watch for. That's over on the right-hand side. We're expecting those mountains to be quite big anyway. Let's go ahead and check in on air. Following our track all the way along. VOR is going to be here, and then it's up to our final stop. Hot Springs. So let's see if we can get some information on Hot Springs. Weather. So winds calm, visibility 10, clear conditions. It's minus 8 degrees up there. The altimeter is 3037. So the winds are calm, so we have any option for a runway. Alright. VOR flying, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Old school navigation. Not that old, but old. And the lighting is superbly good in this 172 as well, lads, isn't it? You can go mad bright or not bright at all. Where is that? Is that? Oh yeah, that's the surface light, is it? Yes. That's a little gear pin light. These guys can be turned off. Now it just looks nicer. Oh yeah. Immersion Sensei, what are the best premium VFR planes for VFR flights I can buy? For VFR, anything from A2A or Black Square, Just Flight and FS Reborn. Also, Anybuild's do an awesome F406. It's a great plane. Fly Simware do a great Chancellor 414. Did night VFR this week in 2020. The roads were so much harder to see than an X-plane. Yeah. Like sometimes that's a complaint in X-plane because like they're so like, you know, that's mad looking out the window there now. Look, with street lighting and you know what I mean. It looks weird on a map from distance. Like if we go up here, you go at this kind of length, it just looks weird. You know what I mean? Oh, this is going to be pretty. But we have to wait. But yeah, Martel's awesome doing night flying, man. Awesome. Alright, how are we looking? We're looking alright. Okay, so we're just over 100 knots indicated. Fuel flow and that's all perfect. EGT is a little bit cold, but it's fine. We can get in and monitor the engine here just to be sure, It's a little bit cold. But we're getting excellent fuel efficiency. Like we're getting prime fuel efficiency on this, like 8 gallons an hour. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess that's bang on, like. 25 degree Fahrenheit, different. Okay. Oh, hang on. Is that precip? How are we getting precip? That looks like snow. That's not all panic. Keeping it. It's gone now. Oh, it's weird. A pocket of snow. That could have been interesting. Oh! Another hour, I'd say. About an hour, and that sunlight will just be fantastic. Where's this other stuff? I thought I had that somewhere. Music Maestro. That'll do it. Oh yeah. Gorgeous. Oh yeah, the King Air is very good as well. Add some light onto the equation. We're just waiting for the sun to come up, man. All right, I'd say we are about 30 odd miles. Yeah, 32.5. Which isn't bad. We're near that 2-7 intersection. Looking good here, looking good there. Now, what was the Barrow? 3037. So we're a little bit higher than what we should be. Drop the nose down a bit. Some tunage, man. All right, we're gonna hold altitude there. Alrighty. Zero 647, 1 degree outside. Fuel efficiency absolutely savage. Greta will be happy, lads. I'm telling you. Look at that. She'd only be delighted with us. VAC is still a little bit high. Alright, 30 miles to go. All sorts of interesting terrain ahead. We need to be careful. We need to be very careful. 8.6. And then 10.7. Look at this. The altitude got really high. Elevation of the airport is just under 5,000 feet. But we need to get over this ridge line before we get in there. Antelope Butte. So I imagine we're going to have to climb here. Maybe not. There are a couple of gaps you can get in. Fly with Eric, good to see you, buddy. We're flying here in Wyoming. We just departed out of Casper and we're heading up to Hot Springs. Should be landing in the next 25 minutes. We're on track to a VOR up at the Boysen Reservoir. So we were flying in the King Air from AirfoilLabs last week. That's a great plane, man. King Air is an absolute great plane. They did phenomenal work in it. Alright, let's adjust this.
I've said it many times, I know.
There we are.
I would change my way.
It's getting brighter. Oh, oh.
When all the crows decide to leave.
Before we know it, lads,
Underneath my feet.
we're gonna have some sunlight. Look.
I've got it right and I
Look
get
at
it
that.
wrong.
Before we know it.
I learned my lesson hanging on. Come sit here with me by the fire
All right, we're still tracking 2.
and let it go for a little while. So be here as the night starts falling. Let my fingers walk over
Continue in.
my head.
Hop on as well, Eric. You're very welcome. Yeah, the King Air C90 in Microsoft Flight Sim. I haven't flown that in a while now. Coronado's one.
I'd rather be with you than by myself.
Need to give that another spin soon.
Always in your hand.
Lonely skies out here, I can tell you. We'll have to do this route again in Microsoft Flight Sim if we just have to.
When I was young, I thought control
Because it's gorgeous. This is a beautiful flight.
to an ending road.
And the weather's like, this is a beautiful time to fly.
That'll seem to be the only thing that was for me. And I saw
It's a great little machine, this, the 172. Anyone done real world flying in the chat? Any of you guys fly a 172?
and I still remember parts of it. And the yellow glorious were lit.
Or if you have done real world flying, what's been the weirdest or most interesting aircraft you've flown? Or flown in, right? You don't have to be a pilot.
All this time you waited for me.
That's ridiculously pretty, isn't it?
No, I guess it's fate.
Gorgeous.
Now all is in our hands.
Only flown in a Chipmunk with the Air Cadets. That's a great plane to fly in. Energizer, good to see you, man. It's almost 2026. Where's the year gone? Dude, this year's like terrible pun, but like it has flown by. You know, it's been such a fast year, man. We're getting close. Vacuum, take your time, buddy. No worries at all. All right. It's getting brighter. Like some of the aircraft I've been in a Gazelle, an Alouette, a Dauphin, a Marchetti, Cessna 172, Cessna 182, a PA-28, a PA-24 Comanche, King Air, a 337, Chipmunk, I think that's it. Canadian Cessna, welcome in. First flight ever was in the Air Transit A310 from Canada to Cancun. Ooh, nice. The year has flown by, but also a good year for our hobby too. That's probably the reason it's gone so fast. This has been a great year for flight simulation. 2025, an excellent year. And I think 2026 is going to be bigger and better. Because like they finally have Flight Sim 24 in a strong position now. So that's only going to get bigger and better for next year. You know? And it's interesting to see X-Plane as well, right? I mean, it's funny, but like Laminar had the same problems Microsoft had in terms of developing and adding features that destabilized that platform. Users couldn't use it without having crashes and issues, right? Two dogs, a Piaggio P180, the Avanti? Dude, that's awesome. You know, Laminar went away, they fixed everything, they brought in Vulcan, they made massive changes to the performance, and that's why over the last kind of 12 months or so, they've been able to just throw features. So if anything, you know, I'd be expecting Microsoft Flight Sim next year to start throwing features. Maybe shared cockpit, maybe weather radar, like, we just don't know, right? It's going to be class. Either way, it's going to be class. Right, 17 miles out from the VOR. High ground on our right. We will find the gap though. Over this neck of the woods maybe. So there's the reservoir. Over there. So we can do one of two things. We can go beyond it, which could be a little bit naff. If we follow the reservoir, there's a river here which doesn't gain a lot of altitude. So we could be okay up there, you know? Black Light, many happy returns, buddy. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing lots of flying in your chosen sims, Black Knight. Crafty Tiger says, best memorial flight or memorable flight for me was at Oshkosh in the Ford Tri-Motor. Nice. Energizer says, what's the plane you're looking forward to the most in 2026? I'm looking forward to the Dauphin and a Sea King. I'm looking forward to the Phenom. I'm looking forward to the Learjet. I'm looking forward to the Shrike 690, the King Air, the Caravan, the Fokker, the L1011, TriStar rather. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of Energizer. I'm like, whenever I hear of new aircraft development, I'm like, yes. The Dauphin is probably my most anticipated aircraft to fly. I cannot wait to try that from Takeoff's hangar when it comes out. There's also a Gazelle on the way. I need to try that one soon. Don't know if you guys have been following along with the development. My studio production manager, keep me up to date. We get into Taeog's here. So the Dauphin, right? Because he's put up a couple of pictures of it, of what it looks like in the sim, right? Where are we? He had some renders done not so long ago. Where is it? Was it this far back? Hey, Cracker, good to see you. Cheers, Black Knight. I mean, look at the state of this. Oh, I cannot wait to fly the Dauphin. Jeez, it's going to be great. And look at the cut of it, lads. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Flown in this in the real world, it is an absolute classic machine. I hope it does an Aircore livery. I've asked him nicely. Go on, give us an out Aircore livery out of that, will you? Will you? I mean, these things they're so popular, right? Absolutely brilliant. So that's currently being worked on by Taeog's hangar. He's also working on a Sea King. Did you see this? Very first screenshots of a Sea King in flights in 2024. Now that is a machine. Class looking. Right, what am I doing and where am I going? Easy now, Jemima. Ooh. Right. We're okay. Keep on track. We're alright. We're alright. We should see an airport. In fact, I see flashing lights over there. That could be us, lads. Watching the Irish space program heli last night. Brilliant. Murph, who were the SR-71A12 devs you reviewed a week or two ago? Hammer Nail, so I checked out both. One was from Quick Flight and the other one was from Blackbird. One of the best aircraft I flew was a DC-3, 16-passenger variant. We took customers to the company fish camp in Kennet, Ontario. No way. 2 dogs, that's awesome, man. Cracker, hope you're well, buddy. Yeah. Right, it's the daylight is starting to hit us. It's getting terribly nice. Terribly nice. Look at that. So we're going with runway 5. Gonna get a little bit bumpy here. Lights are on. Directly over the mountain. We seem to be okay altitude wise. Want to get your pilot's license so bad, Todd? Expensive project, that, right? I mean, that's the one thing I love about flight simulation. I mean, any time, any day, any aircraft, nearly. Class. Ooh, it's bumpy here. So the iPad I'm using, it's a program called Lonely Screen, and it works really well. It's a paid add-on, but basically you can use it as you can take stuff from the iPad, put it onto your PC, and vice versa. But there's loads of different options. So Kilo Hotel, Sierra Golf, that is our airport. And that's where we're going to head for. Look at the mountains up here, lads. This is gorgeous. Is that the VOR station? It absolutely is. Look, there's the VOR, lads. I can't keep the camera on it. That's deadly. All right, good speed. Whoa! Cracker, thank you so very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. Cracker 1963 with the 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you very, very much indeed, lads. If you got a tier 1 sub, thanks to Cracker, do be sure to say thank you. Malky, have a good one, bud. We'll see you later. Two Dog says, when you learn to fly, the aircraft instructor was $15 an hour. Shit. They're about 100 here, I think. Are they? Or 70? And then you have the aircraft. And then the fuel. That VOR station did very well. Alright, our airport. You over that way. Do a small course correction here. 300 degrees. That was in 1972. I hear a lot of talk about VFR. What does that mean? So Todd, you have 2 types of flying, right? As in the rules in which govern your type of flying. One of them is called VFR, and that stands for Visual Flight Rules, meaning that you're able to fly the aircraft using visual navigation, looking at landmarks outside of the aircraft, and you're allowed to fly visual flight rules provided there, you know, the certain weather minima, certain airspaces. Then you have IFR, and that stands for Instrument Flight Rules, because, well, let's be honest, it doesn't stay nice and sunny everywhere. You got to fly into conditions that have zero visibility, right? Also known as IMC. So VFR, Visual Flight Rules, it's actually technically requires more brain power, because for your flight planning perspective, you're not flying from necessarily waypoint to waypoint to waypoint and filing it as a flight plan. IFR, you're required to have a flight plan. Therefore, you're flying by instrument departure, instrument approach, set heading, set altitude, set waypoints, you know? So that's what VFR is. Now, you can fly VFR in any aircraft, but you can't fly IFR in any aircraft. The aircraft has to be IFR capable. So, for example, if you were in a normal commercial aircraft like a Boeing 737 or, an A320, well, they're capable of visual approaches, which they go back then to visual flight rules, right? But it's part of their flight plan. They would always file instrument flight rules because they fly fast, they fly way higher than what VFR aircraft can fly, and they can fly in and out of weather. So when you do your private pilot license, the first thing they'll teach you is VFR. Then you go off and you get instrument rated, and then you'll be IFR certified. And pretty much every pilot for hire would need to have both, because they need to be able to fly in all sorts of weather. Do you know? The Cessna 150, 152. Whoa. You still getting one today? No way. Hey, G Slayer. Good to see you, buddy. It cost $35 an hour back in the 1980s, but the ground school was free for the US Air Force. No way. Jay's ground school, that's its own syllabus that has to be covered now. Hope you're well, buddy. I had one thing that's like a ground school for flight simulation is a very advantageous thing. You'll learn so much. And where Navigraph Academy have started with, they're very much looking at the practical flying, the physical flying, right? Maintaining, heading, slow turns, fast turns, steep descents, and all this kind of jazz, right? Johnny Mon, good to see you. Your new PC is built. It's almost ready. Should be good to go by half or a third. Happy New Year, Johnny Mon. Great news, buddy. Right, we're going to be making a right turn shortly. Is that sun coming up? It nearly is. Look at the weather. Gorgeous. 300 degrees. 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 All right, so we're going to be rambling over here to the right-hand side. I saw a beacon light there in the distance. It'll be over here now. That appears to be a runway and a little terminal. So that's where we're heading for. Another course correction coming in. Let's call this one 320 degrees.
Hello there.
And we'll see how we get on. And then this evening, we're going to completely change up what we're doing because we're going into Formula 1. Yes. Oh, January 2nd or 3rd. Gotcha now, Johnny. Gotcha now. Gotcha now. That's awesome, man. All right. Now remember, the airport elevation just shy of 5,000 feet. So we're technically going to be 3,000 feet above ground level doing this. We shall keep an eye. Speed is good. Power is good. Why did that default back to full power, man? That's so weird. Interesting. Alright, we'll tighten in a little bit closer. 340 degrees. And there's a runway starting to light up. So let's have a look. We're looking good here. Quick check on the airport chart. So 05 is what we're going for, and we can exit the runway and go onto the taxiway. We want to be getting down here to where the little terminal is. So taxiway Alpha, there's a fueling area, and then there's a small little terminal there as well. Alright. Let's see what happens. It's been a stunning flight. Absolutely gorgeous. And with the time of day transitioning, man, you gotta love it. Alright, keep heading in. We're too early to turn. Altitude sitting at 8,000. Oh, look at the sky colours, man. Isn't that gorgeous, like? Stunning. Have I ever flown the Grumman Albatross? And the same? Yeah, we did a whole series on that, Casey Winboy. Down to Greece, it was gorgeous. G-Slayer, it really is, man, isn't it? It's looking mighty. Mighty, I tell you. Guys, look at the terrain here, man. This is gorgeous. Beautiful. Alright, keep her going. We'll get in just before sunrise. It's a nice flight. We flew pretty much via VOR the whole way here. Okay, autopilot disengaged. I've controlled the aircraft. Let's start a lazy bit of a turn coming in. We can also start descending. Ease out the power. Nice and slow. Easy does it. Add in a tiny bit of mixture as we're descending. Watch your speed here as well. Ease out that power. 110 knots. We can go with the first notch of flaps. Costango, welcome in. No close encounters expected. Thank you, Black Knight. So we have winds, cam, 10 visibility, clouds clear, -2 degrees, 3048. High pressure, man. All right, easy now. Little bit high. First notch of flaps. Watch the nose. Lead off some of the speed. Watch our speed for these flaps now. We gotta wait till we get down below 85. Easy. Little bit of a cross. At this altitude, at the airport it'll be a little bit calmer. 1200 feet a minute, your ears are popping. Be grand. Don't worry about it at all. Keep swallowing or yawn. Good to see you, Brandon. About to do the last 3 legs of the Midnight Pursuit achievement. Ooh, nice. Okay, speed looking good. Second notch of flaps, we can get a little bit more aggressive now with our rate of descent. Easy. Easy. Keep it under 1,000 if we can. It's a huge runway. We can do a long landing because the terminal is at the very far end of it, so I'm happy enough-ish. Approach speed is looking good here at 70 knots. I'm really only using flaps to help me slow down for drag. Easy now. Mixture set for best power. Tanks are okay. Gear is fixed. Small corrections. Adrian, welcome good. Welcome good. Welcome in. Thank you. Sometimes I forget how to speak. You're very welcome in. Alright, this is a little bit better. Easy. Easy. I have a little bit of experience, Adrian, but like it's so costly, man. Watch your speed. Easy now. Runway 5. Gently does it. Now I probably don't. Well, I could take the first exit here, but we'll try and aim for the second one because it's a long old taxi back. So we're going to plan for a little bit of a long landing here. Easy.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Jesus, the timing. Right, hold the nose. Hold it. There, we're down.
Landing time logged.
Easy. What did we... That was... We didn't bounce, which is the main thing, you know? That was some crack with the landing. Easy now. Alright, flaps coming in. And we'll jump off here at Alpha 2. Easy now. Alright. And then taxi up on Alpha. Nice. Is OnAir like FS Economy? Pointy boot, similar in a lot of ways. I think OnAir is just massive in comparison because I mean they have a full industry mode, all your flight training, it does everything, man. Missions, all the economy, all the logbook stuff, tracking your performance, your virtual airline performance. You can work for another airline. They have real world routes, company routes put in. It's very impressive. Very impressive. Right, we're on the taxiway. We can probably get rid of some of these lights. Strobe off. Landing light off. Easy now. Yeah, I need to do something with the braking on this. It's very sensitive. There's the terminal, or at least it should be on our left-hand side. We'll go over here to the right and park by the T hangars. Easy now. Easy now. Hoorah. Yeah, I need to check in what those brakes are doing. Very, very strange. All right, avionics coming off, taxi lights coming off, beacon can stay on for the moment. Mixture out.
Engine off time logged.
Okay, mags
The flight
off.
is finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
And pause. How do we get the key out of there? Oh. Isn't there a way to get the key out? Is it there? There is a way to... there are my vents. What is a way to do that with the key? Headphones. There we go. Right, key is out, parking brake is on, beacon coming off, nav coming off, pitot heat coming off, fuel shut-off valve can be engaged, switch off the L fuel tank, battery and alternator coming off. Go ahead and open the door, and we shall secure the aircraft. Oh, look at the state of that. We can secure the aircraft. So we'll go ahead and put the remove before flight, chalk it up, and get some tie downs put in there as well. Awesome sauce. We'll probably need to remove all that now in a second as we look at the replay. So on air, how do we get on? Let's have a look at our record here. Irish Scotsman, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Okay, again, we got 100%. Happy days. What was our landing? Fee speed, 12 feet a minute. Really? 8 feet a minute. Ooh. We'll take that. Okay, let's have a look here. Comfort bonus, safety, aircraft handling, soft landing, and a flight score bonus as well. And we got some nice dollar monies for that as well. So great stuff. On air, you have been flawless. And we continue to build our currency both in the aircraft and, of course, for the cash for our company here called Crash Logistics. So all that's worked terribly, terribly well. Go back here and look at the owl. Better disconnect that. We'll go back here and look at the replay. We better tell the aircraft not to be cold and dark. And maybe close the door, because I don't know how well this replay mode will work. I'm in. So let me see. Flight, view, toggle replay. And let's see how we manage this one. Alright, we're looking alright. That's not a good view. The approach coming in is lined up. Man, look at the runway slope. It just looks weird in this view. There we go.
It's
Back
not
here,
the plane.
Smidgen.
It's the pilot.
Okay. I can't change the time of day, unfortunately. There's a little touch. That wasn't too bad. Okay, slow motion. Very cool that we can go slow motion, isn't it? Man, look at that. We haven't touched yet. Now she drops. Touchdown. How far can we go back? Can we show our... I think we can. We should be able to show our previous landing. Yes, we can. What's this? Right, so give this a chance just to load, right? Right, let the scenery load in. Give X-Plane a moment to like think what the deuce is actually going on, right? Here's this camera. I wonder will this even work with scenery loading? Maybe it won't, we'll see. Here's our landing earlier on. This could be interesting. It shows the runway, but yeah, we won't get, I don't think we'll get the airport. We might. Look at the state of that flare. Right, that was our first landing. The runway looks a bit gnarly. That's only because, it's only because, whatchamacallit, we've no scenery properly loaded in. Oh, don't crash. That was a nice flare, man. That wasn't bad at all. Yeah. Oh look, we got our runway. Haha! Brilliant X-Plane. There's our flare. Just dropped the power. And it sank. Nice. What's it like from over here? Let's zoom it back a little bit. Back you go. Alright. The slow motion variant. I'm gonna get a bit closer here. There we go. We're probably a little bit too aggressive with the flare, but it worked, man. Awesomeness. Right, this will really upset it now if we exit. No, it worked. Right, it just needs to load back in all this scenery now, which will only take... Oh, look, it did it fairly well. So I got the buildings in quick. We just need to get the old textures now onto the ramp. Too shabby. Friend to all, good to see it. Opinions in relation to X-Plane versus... Oh, wait, I can't change the time of day. Yeah, no. Flight configuration. Apply. Oh... Is that going to bring us back to the wrong airport? It is. Man Murphy, you big idiot. There's no real... Well, there's many comparisons, right? Oh, that worked. There we go. And there's the sun just after coming up. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So let's configure this puppy for... oh, wait, we broke everything. Fix that. There we go. I suppose, you know, comparing the sims, each sim has its own strong points, right? And it's, I think, really, it's the add-ons in the sim. X-Plane certainly has, as a platform, X-Plane certainly has some wonderful options kind of built into it, right? But so does Microsoft Flight Sim. You know what I mean? So it kind of depends. What's the weather doing? It kind of depends on what your style of flying is, the aircraft in which you want to use, and the experience you're after. And I think all sims offer these options to us now. You know what I mean? So this was kind of where... It was a lot darker, wasn't it? Where's that now? We're waiting for the sun to come up. Up you get your divila. Oh, look at the sky there, look. Jesus. Where's the sun? Up your divila. There it is. So we'll keep it there. Sunrise, and our aircraft has done what it's needed to do. An old mate still looking at us, which is terrifying. But yeah, great bit of stuff here with X-Plane and OnAir in the just a class flight, you know. But yeah, I think X-Plane 12 definitely has a lot of strong points, but so does Microsoft Flight Sim, you know. All of them is the most comprehensive approach. Yeah, it's a great answer. It really is. Flight Sim Max, good to see you, Max. Hope you're well. Right, lads, that's the story now. I'm away because we're heading off to do some F1 a little bit later on. We're going to be racing in Silverstone. We're going to be in Abu Dhabi. We're going to be in... Where else are we going? We're going to a few places. With our racing this evening. Hang on to now, we're bringing it in. Our stream schedule. So, where are we? We're Tuesday. So we're going to be in Spa, Yas Marina, Monaco. Oh, Jesus, Monaco. And Japan with damage. So that's what we're doing in about 7 hours and 30 minutes. Some multiplayer racing, Formula 1 2025. Wednesday night, we're bringing the news. And for the news this week, we're catching up with the updates from Say Intentions. We're going to be looking at the native 2024 Comanche by A2A. And also the MD-80 from... Fly the Mad Dog 20th anniversary from Leonardo. We also have some scenery there from MM Simulations and also RW Profiles. So that's our plan on Wednesday. Then we're going to raid on over to Ali. On Thursday, we have daytime. It's going to be some Navigraph. So we're going to be doing some pilot training, learning some things, takeoff, landing, and circuits. That's going to be a bit of crack on Thursday. Then Thursday evening, we're flying in the PMDG 737-800. We're going to be flying out of Denver, Colorado, over to Las Vegas in Nevada. Looking forward to that flight. It's going to be on VATSIM as well. And then on Thursday evening, we're back for a group flight in Scotland. We're going to be flying in the Inibill's F406 Caravan 2 with some Coast Guard operations, taking us from Edinburgh up past Aberdeen, Inverness, Kirkwall, and we're going to head up to Sumbra, which is going to be class. Beautiful part of the world to go flying in as well. So that's going to be on Friday night. So between all of that, you'll catch us over on our Discord channel, !Discord. That'll give you a link to where we hang out. And if you have any questions or worries or anything in general, do be sure to ask the question and say hello. So, lads, until this evening, in about 5.5 hours' time, I want to thank you all so very much indeed for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's stream here in X-Plane 12 using OnAir and the AirfoilLabs 172 with a mix of some VOR navigation along with our VFR. So, lots of fun. So, right, we'll see you in a few hours. Till then, you take care.
Oh, sweet something, God! Jesus! Medic! Oh. There's nothing to
Look at
see.
this piggy, just
Jesus!
There's nothing to see. No, there's nothing to see at all. Into beta, reversers, flaps in. Get out of beta. Get out of the beta. Ah! That's weird. The throttle doesn't move. Jerry Coogan, many thanks for the follow. Hang on. We need to get out of beta. No, that's backwards, Murph. Uh-oh. Get out of... Oh, we nearly tipped it over, lads. You see it? Jesus. Why won't you get out of beta, you devil? Your controls are no longer agreeing with me. Right. What's it doing now? Not a beta. Stupid thing. Stop reversing. Ah, you need to go forwards.